just put the TV on and the Ashes were on, the cricket was on, and I was like, where's the wrestling? So hopefully I found the right channel now. I don't know if I have, but hopefully I have. You can see that everything's still set up from last week. I haven't pre-scored the show. This is actually what we gave NXT last time we watched it, which was actually a couple of weeks ago. I wasn't around last week because of the fact that I had a big family kind of get-together for Christmas, and so it just meant that I was not here to stream. I was not available to stream, so yeah, apologies for that. Very rare for us to miss something though, like a show like NXT. But I still haven't seen it. I haven't had a chance to go back and watch it. So I had people asking me about what did I think about Tiffany's in-ring debut. And the answer is, I don't know. I still haven't seen it. So you lot will have to tell me if it was good, bad, boring, interesting, if she's the next big thing, or what's going on with her. Because, as I said, I still haven't seen it. Other than that, I think we are seeing, quite a big show tonight. We've got Volta. I think, is AJ on the show tonight as well? Do we get AJ versus Waller? I don't know if that's happening. I need to have a look, actually, and see what the actual rundown of the matches are as well. So, we've got a lot to do. Let's change this over to NXT, WWE NXT. As I say, I hope everyone is well. If you want to know where I was just over on a podcast doing, we have like a podcast. It's not really, it's kind of wrestling, but it's not really wrestling. But we do that every Tuesday, the Wrestling Escape Pods. It's only an hour. There's a great community over there. We talk about Christmas. We were talking about wrestling. We talk quite a bit about indie wrestling, actually. So we was talking a lot about Beyond Wrestling tonight, and it was kind of interesting. So if you are interested in that, that's what I tend to do on a Tuesday. So yeah, apologies. That's why I was a little bit delayed, but we're here now. We're here, and we can have a look and see what has New Year's Evil got in store for us. We can jump over to NXT and see the rundown of the cards. So tonight. We have got. Is there a tweet that's got all the matches on? We've got Raquel Gonzalez taking on Mandy Rose, taking on Cora Jade. So that is for the NXT Women's Championship. It's a triple threat. Then we've got Riddle and MSK in a 6-man tag match against Volta and Imperium. I mean, that's going to be fire, isn't it? This has very much got a takeover vibe to it. I don't know if you're getting that impression, but this very much feels like a takeover. So we've got Raquel Gonzalez, Mandy Rose, Cora Jade, Women's Championship triple threat. Then we've got a 6-man tag match that's going to see Riddle and MSK, Riddle, one half of the current Raw tag champs, one half of RK Bro, teaming up with MSK, taking on Imperium with Volta. I mean, look, Imperium have got to be winning this. I mean, Volta's got to be winning this, surely. I don't want to be seeing the current NXT tag champs and Volta losing. So even if they do have Riddle, I would be putting Imperium over. I fully expect Mandy Rose to retain her title, by the way. So we haven't done predictions for this, but I'm expecting Mandy Rose to retain. I would be going with Imperium, but Riddle and MSK might win to get the babyface pop. We've got the unification match as well. I don't know if it's being billed as unification, but it is the North American champion taking on the Cruiserweight champion. So Carmelo Hayes taking on Roderick Strong. And this is, again, I believe the unification of the belts. There's lots of talk that they're getting rid of that Cruiserweight title. So I think whoever wins, and I'm guessing it's going to be Carmelo Hayes, whoever wins, I think will just be the North American champion going forward. I think the Cruiserweight championship is done. I think they're looking to get rid of it and just have that one mid-card championship, which I think is fine. AJ Styles is on the show tonight, which is incredible. AJ Styles taking on Grayson Waller. I mean, it face-to-face is what it says. So AJ Styles versus Grayson Waller face-to-face. I don't quite know what that means. I don't know if that means it is a match or if it's just another segment. Genuinely, I don't know. I don't know why it says face-to-face underneath it, but I'm guessing it's just a match, a normal match. So AJ Styles, Grayson Waller. And then, of course, the main event of the evening, Tommaso Ciampa taking on Bron Breakker. And I think this is it. I think this is New Year, new champion. I think Bron Breakker being the champion is something they've wanted to do for a long time. I think as soon as NXT 2.0 started, Bron Breakker was being presented as being, someone that was going after the title. NXT 2.0 has been around for a good few months now. I think we've got an idea as to, what the show's like. I think it can be quite good, as we saw. The score I gave it 2 weeks ago was 7.5. So I do think it's got, it can be quite good. I also think, though, that we've seen some weeks where it's been pretty awful. It's very, very hit and miss. Very hit and miss. It's a lot more sports entertainment than what we were seeing from NXT before. That's not a bad thing necessarily, as long as that entertainment is done well. And as you said, sometimes it can be very hit and miss. But I think they've absolutely, for a long time now, wanted to make Bron Breakker the face of this new NXT. They didn't have him win it first time, which makes perfect sense. Build him up, put a few obstacles in his way. I'm thinking they'll do it now. I'm thinking they'll do it here. They could delay it a little longer. But I think they want to get the belt on him. I think they've got such high hopes for Bron Breakker. They just want to start his title reign. I mean, you could put the belt on him around WrestleMania time, but I can see that being a title defense, a big, big title defense for him. So I think they'll pull the trigger. I think tonight's the night, and I think Bron Breakker becomes the new NXT champion. And for me, that's still an achievement. For me, that's still something of significance. I understand NXT has taken some big, big knocks recently. It's taken some big hits recently, and maybe NXT doesn't quite feel as significant as it once did, but the views still seem to be as strong as ever. So even though a lot of people have got maybe some problems with this new version, and maybe it doesn't quite satisfy the way it used to, I think that it still means something to be the NXT champion. And, we've seen great names like Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Big E, all go on to achieve great success on the main roster that have been champion. And I think we're about to add Bron Breakker to that list. Wrestle with Andy said, Days, I feel like tonight may be the greatest night in the history of our sport. It will be for you, Wrestle with Andy. When I think of Bron Breakker, I think of Wrestle with Andy. Wrestle with Andy, I think, is probably the biggest Bron Breakker fan I know. Probably a bigger fan than Rick Steiner and Scott Steiner. He's probably secretly one of the Scottish Steiners. Wrestle with Andy. Been supporting Bron since the beginning, and I think tonight will be his crowning moment, my friend. So, it's going to be a big one for you. Edward, hello. Hope you are well. I was wondering if you'd like me to make a video for the web one day. Sure, do it. Yeah. I'd like anyone to make videos for the Wrestling Escape Pod. I don't know what our next subject will be or what the next topic will be, but we're always welcoming submissions from the community. It's a great way of just getting, being able to put faces to names and, getting to know people a bit better. So I do absolutely love the podcast for that. If you are a regular of this community, if you are someone that joins us on these streams quite a bit, really, the Wrestling Escape Pod, I think, is just a really great way of you getting to know other people in the community. Because I appreciate if you join us on a regular basis, you'll see, like I do, the same names all the time. We've got a really strong community here, and I think the podcast is brilliant for being able to, kind of throw the doors open and allow you guys to have your say. I'm thinking of doing a segment whereby whatever happens over the week, maybe the conversation is led by you lot. I like the idea of you lot sending in, like how people ask questions now. I like the idea of people asking questions via video. Like, if you want to ask a question on the podcast this week, send in your video. Only needs to be like 10 seconds on your phone. Like, really, really easy. But then it would just be a great way of being able to put, like, faces to names. And if you want to, you know, go a bit deeper and share your thoughts whilst asking the question, you know, it could be like, I love Alexa Bliss. She's one of my favorites. I think Alexa, what she was doing with Bray was a lot of fun, but I did prefer the Goddess. My question is, what version of Alexa do you think we're going to see? And what version of Alexa would you like to see? Like, maybe that would be a great way forward for the podcast, to have, like, the community asking, like, questions like that. And then that way, we can, like, talk wrestling. We can get faces to names, have some interesting conversations. It could be quite an interesting way forward, that. So, yeah, food for thought, that. Food for thought. Ant1 said, I can't wait until Alexa Bliss returns next week. I think there's a lot of excitement around Alexa Bliss's return, and Alexa Bliss Gamer as well. Very excited for it. I did actually see Alexa Bliss Gamer. I think it was Alexa Bliss Gamer that was asking in the chat. Can I just say, over on the podcast, I never look at the chat, so I am not ignoring anyone. I just genuinely don't see it. But I did see Alexa Bliss Gamer asking the question, like, talk about Alexa Bliss's return. So I will briefly do that now for you. I am looking forward to it. I like vignettes. I feel like it's going to be a vignette because they talk about her journey back, not the fact that she's going to be there. We're going to see her journey back to Raw. So I think it's going to be a vignette where she's going to talk about the impact maybe that Lily being destroyed had on her. Maybe she's going to talk about the fact she lost herself. Maybe she's still lost herself. Maybe she's still consumed, but I don't know. I'm personally hoping that we move on to a different gimmick. I do like the Goddess, but I feel like the Goddess in 2022 is going to need to be updated. I think the Goddess would be overshadowed by Queen Zelina, Charlotte, who is, you know, calls herself the Queen. You've got Becky, that's the man. I kind of feel like Alexa as the Goddess, you know, just calling yourself the Goddess, and presenting yourself the way that she used to might not hit that hard, might not have the same impact anymore. She might get a bit lost in the shuffle. So I really like Alexa. I wasn't a fan of her gimmick she was doing with the playground and everything, but I've always liked her. So I really wish her all the best success. I just think that if she goes back to the Goddess, which for me was when I enjoyed her the most, it might just be a little bit bland for 2022. She might just need to, like, jazz it up a little bit. She might need to add something to it. I don't know what that is, but I definitely feel like she could get lost. What with, you know, as we said, Queen Zelina, who's got, you know, running around in a crown and calling herself a queen. You know, you've got Asuka calling herself the Empress. I mean, Asuka's very colourful. It's very hard to compete with, like, Asuka. You're not going to be more colourful than Asuka. You're not going to be more show-offy than... That's not really a word, but you know what I mean? You're not going to be more glamorous or as outrageous in your costuming as Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte's robes are absolutely stunning. Like, you're not going to be able to compete with that. Sasha's fashion as well. Like, look at what Sasha's wearing week in, week out with the cat suits. Like, how you're not going to compete with that. Like, where does Alexa find her niche? She found a bit of a niche in being, like, the weird one. I suppose in a way there's value there. She doesn't necessarily have to leave being the strange, kind of darker, twisted one. She doesn't have to leave that. I don't need her carrying around a doll. I don't need her, you know, making the lights go off and making playgrounds appear in the ring, rocking horses moving on their own. I don't need that stuff. But still, she could still present herself maybe a way as, like, I don't know, it's difficult, isn't it? Because she's not very imposing. I would say she could present herself like the female Malachi, but she's not very big and imposing, and I don't know how scary that's going to actually come across. So there's a lot we could talk about with Alexa. I do feel like she needs to find a niche, and I know it's a weird subject to be talking about on NXT, but it's one of the big talking points coming out of yesterday's Raw. So, yeah. She's going to return as Lily. SB Studios, shout out to you. What was her nickname as the babyface? It was the Goddess. She was the Goddess. I don't know that it was kind of a nickname that was... I mean, I suppose it was her nickname as much as the Empress of Tomorrow is Asuka's, you know, and it is Asuka's. But, yeah, I kind of feel that she needs to find a little niche, something that's going to help her stand out and in a good way. Alexa is the smallest on the roster. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say is if you think about, like, Chucky was Child's Play is a great film because it's a doll that's come to life. And I know that maybe they were channeling that and using that for Lily in a way. But I kind of feel that, like, Chucky is quite terrifying. There's quite a few people in horror films that are quite small, that are quite scary. You know, because it's not necessarily the size. It's more how you carry yourself, your mannerisms. Like, I kind of feel like there still could be something there. You don't have to be the bigger. You don't have to be Brock to be scary. You can be intimidating and scary even if you're smaller in stature. So, I don't know. You've got to really give it thought, though, if you're going to go down those roads. And maybe that's not right for Alexa, but I suppose the conversation is, how do you stand out? How do you find your niche? You can't be the rock one because, you know, the one that's into punk and whatever, because, and rock music, so that's Rhea Ripley. And honestly, I think that's why they got rid of Ruby. I think they got rid of Ruby because they've already got someone similar to her, and that's Rhea Ripley, who I think they see more in. Again, you know, rumors were they got rid of Braun because they've got Amos, and they only want one giant. Like, you've got Commander Aziz as well, but Amos is the person they want to present as the giant now. He's the one they're backing to be the big giant going forwards. So they didn't feel that they needed Braun as well, and they felt they could save money on his wage. So having your own identity and being different to other people on the roster is very, very important. Very important. And it's something Alexa needs to work out. I love the escape pod. I'm still wondering what's in the egg. I want to know what's in the egg as well. I also want to know what's in the egg. I don't know if we can get an answer on that if Darwin's around, but definitely, yeah, I don't know what was in the egg. It looked like it was sealed. It kind of felt a bit like one of those LOL eggs. I know that you can get LOL with like an LOL doll inside, but obviously it wasn't that. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I want to know what's in it as well. Did you hear the Shaman was originally supposed to be Jeff Hardy instead of Riddle, but Hardy was released. I think Riddle fits much better. I think Riddle's a good fit. I think Jeff Hardy would have been good as well, though, because Hardy is a Shaman of like tag team wrestling and is very iconic, very cool. I think he would have fitted perfectly also, but I think Riddle's absolutely fine. Yeah, I mean, to go from Hardy and switch out with Riddle was pretty seamless, wasn't it? You can totally believe and see why Riddle would be like the Shaman. So yeah, I think they did perfectly fine with that. Wasn't there meant to be some news today regarding Jeff Hardy? Thinking about it, Fightful teased that they had some surprising news about Jeff Hardy. Was that the news? Was that the news that he was meant to be the Shaman originally? I don't know. I haven't heard anything. So. AEW Rampage, I've recorded it. It's on ITV4 now. That's cool. You can watch it on Fight Live if you are in the UK, if you wanted to watch it live rather than watch the replay. Days, I'm not looking forward to Alexa Bliss's return. She can't wrestle, and I am not a fan of Alexa. It's a perfectly fine opinion to have. I like her. I think she can do some stuff in the ring. I think that of all the people, all the women that have got called up, she is not a concern to me at all. I think the way that she kind of has carried herself in the past has been very interesting, very, very much like a champion. She's had a bit of sass about her, which I've appreciated. And she's had some decent matches. But, yeah, I can understand if people aren't fans. But we'll see. We'll see how she comes back. Days Meltzer's reporting Seth was originally supposed to win the title before Brock got added. It's a shame they gave up on Big E's title reign before trying to fix it. It's a good point. I didn't hear that. I was under the impression that Big E was meant to retain. I'd read that somewhere. Definitely read that somewhere that Big E was meant to retain. But if you're telling me Meltzer is reporting now that it was going to be Seth, then that's very interesting. WWE Spiteful said the statistics have been completed and you should reach 250 on the 16th of January. Congratulations, you deserve it. Well, let's get there first. We're around about 700 and something away. 700 and something subs away. I'm very aware. I keep saying it. I am very, very aware. I need to be getting videos on this channel. I'm very aware. You know, at the moment with the watch-alongs, we've got a great community, and I can look down and see names that I expect to see, you know, because they're here all the time and they're, you know, great supporters of the channel. So, you know, we've got this wonderful, vibrant community, but if we want to attract new people, different opinions, and the channel to like continue to grow, then I know I need to get videos done. So very much my focus this year is that trying to find a way of get some other content onto the channel, which is I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be really difficult because I've got that football channel now, so it's like that is really, really eating up a lot of the spare time that I used to have, so yeah, it's a bit of a problem. But we'll find a way. I've set myself the goal of finding a way, and I will find a way. Days, will the Glamazon enter the Rumble? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I can't see why she wouldn't. They need women, apparently. They're struggling to fill that Rumble. So she is going to be an active competitor that I'm guessing is going to be at Royal Rumble in that mixed tag match. I'd imagine they put Maurice in it as well. I mean, we've seen quite a few times where people have matches earlier in the show and then are in the Rumble. So it's not a problem to do that if they are struggling that much. And I'd imagine there'll be some NXT talent that goes in it as well. Lawrence said, apparently they're going to call about the NXT North American Cruiserweight Championship. Thoughts? Don't like it. That's my thoughts. I don't like it. Why would you do that? What, like, don't like it. I don't like it because surely it should be a mid-card title. And surely it should be about that anyone can win. So why has it got Cruiserweight in it? Like, why has it got Cruiserweight in it? So are we saying now that someone like Von Wagner can't win that title? Because there is no way he's a Cruiserweight. No way. So are we saying that he can't win it, or are we saying that the name is irrelevant? Because if the name's irrelevant, why the flip have we gone with that name? I kind of feel like I don't get why Cruiserweight's in it. If it is Cruiserweight, then why not just call it the Cruiserweight title? Why do we need North America? Why do we need it to be the North American Championship? It's horrible. It's horrible branding. I don't get it. I don't get it. I hadn't heard that. Don't like it. The rumor is Becky wants a match with Beth. Do you see Bron being called up before next year? If it is, it would be the draft, and that'll be at the end of the year. And I don't know. I mean, it would be quick. It'd be very, very quick for him to get called up that so soon. But if they're going to be as aggressive with him as what they have been, I mean, he wrestles pretty much every week. He's been thrust into the main event scene early. I expect him to be champion tonight. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say not this year. But if it happens, then I don't think it's the biggest shock I will have ever seen. If it's before the draft, that will be a big surprise. If they call him up before the draft, I'll be stunned. But I think during the draft, could we see Bron Breakker come up at that point? Yeah, I think at that point, I think that's where I'm like, okay, any time after now, I think we could see him. So be it the draft, be it he's in the Rumble and then he sticks around after, or be it that he gets called up after WrestleMania next year. Around that time, I think's fine. I don't think they're going to wait too long, because I think they are desperate for like good big guys on the main roster. I mean, there's not loads. I mean, you've got big guys like a Moss, but I'm not sure that you could say they're good in ring. I didn't see much praise for a Moss versus AJ. So, I think Bron getting called up is probably quite high on the priority list, actually. But they won't rush it. He's got so much he needs to learn that I think next year, I would say early next year, I could see him coming up. Bron Breakker is a future megastar. My money in the bank would be Dana, Io, Asuka, Naomi, Sasha, Shotzi, and Dana Brooke wins, says Jacko. Please read, are you doing a giveaway when you hit 250,000? I would be tempted to do something like that. Yeah, I mean, we spoke about it before, but it's been a while now. So to be honest, it's not something that's really crossed my mind. I wondered if we could have done it by the end of last year, and I think it was quite eye-opening that to me that we needed. I think it was like 3,000 subs in December, which historically wouldn't have been a problem. Like 3,000 subs in December would have been not a problem at all. But I think since we've concentrated just really on the watch-alongs, that side of the channel has really slowed down. But the views have never been higher. So it's crazy. Like, we're getting more views than we ever have. But that side of the channel with the subs has definitely slowed. And so I suppose I need to find a better balance. So I don't know. Let's get to it first, and we'll cross the bridge when we get to it. Brendan said Jake Paul will retire and fight Masvidal if they increase UFC fighter pay. Mocko Studios, shout out to you. Welcome, my friends. A new supporter of the channel. Really appreciate the support, dude. So big shout out to you. Days, can you remember Ghost Banana from WrestleMania and when they nearly ruined the show? I do remember Ghost Banana, and I do remember the rain as well, which the rain delay, which I haven't gone back to check, but I was told has been edited out of WrestleMania now. So the rain delay is no longer there on the network. If you go to it, it just goes like welcome and into the first match. I think there is like maybe the talent come out onto the stage, whatever. But yeah, I'd have to double check that. But apparently they've edited that rain delay out. Vince McMahon for Money in the Bank, said Erase Your Mind. Matto said, can you read my message? Did you put one in earlier? I can't see it, but unless it's like really early. Oh, yeah, okay, I found it. Speaking of Jeff Hardy, I've heard he wants to bring back his Willow gimmick, but he's gone. Again, I'm disappointed because I am a fan of his. Yeah, I think he did want to bring Willow in. I don't know where they were with that happening, to be honest. I don't know how close they were to bringing Willow into WWE. He did tease saying that it's time to see a new side of himself. So I definitely think he was hinting at that. But, well, it's done, innit? It's gone. He's gone. I don't think it's something WWE were that interested in. I think it's something that Jeff was interested in. But I don't think it's something WWE were interested in. But there's a chance that you could have got it, in all fairness. I think Vince would have listened to Jeff and maybe helped like get that character over and allowed him to present it. But I don't. It kind of suggests to me that they were never had any big plans to like push it. I think they would have backed it. I think they would have done it, and I think you would have been disappointed. Because I think that a lot of people out there would have wanted him facing Roman and all this kind of stuff. And I don't think they had those ambitions for Jeff and for Willow. So I think there would have been a lot of disappointment out there. Reports suggest that 11 United players could want out the club. I am skeptical. Thoughts? Let them go. Yeah, fine. I ain't got a problem. No one is bigger than the club. If they want out, they can go. That's my thoughts. I'm not being moody or nasty. But there's very few United stars at the moment that are covering themselves in glory. And I think a lot of United fans would be... And Luke Shaw, after the game, said that there's a lack of motivation that was shown out there. And, that blew up. So it's a bad time at Old Trafford right now. A lot of questions being asked. A lot of, answers required, like, how do we turn this around? We was kind of hoping that a new manager would do it, and it hasn't done it. We've just got to get through this season. That's what we've got to do. I mean, if we can get European football, like Champions League football, brilliant. But listen, if 11 players want out, if like Lingard wants out, Donny wants out, Martial wants out, Phil Jones wants out, let them go. No one's irreplaceable. So it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I'd quite happily let them go and bring in 11 new faces. Not a problem. So it doesn't, not bothered. Yeah. Interesting though, Lauren. I don't know if that's true either, but it's interesting. I do think it's probably a decent number. Probably is a decent number. I reckon Lingard wants out. Donny wants out. Phil Jones apparently was getting frustrated at not playing. He wanted out. There was rumours of Dallo wanting to go. Martial wants to go. That's a fact. Cavani was upset that Ronaldo had been brought in and he was now not going to get game time. Mata, I think, had enough as well. So I reckon it is quite a high number, in all fairness. Might not be 11, but probably is quite high. Shannon said, Dustin Poirier versus Nate Diaz to be signed imminently. Dustin is happy to fight soon, despite not having a 6 to 8 week training camp. I mean, I think he wins that fight. So I'd be down for seeing it. I think it's a good fight for them both, actually. I think for Poirier, it's a winnable fight that allows him to kind of quickly bounce back after his loss to Oliveira. For Nate Diaz, it's a decent payday, so I think everyone wins. James said these United players won't play for the manager because they know he's only there for 5 months. I think it goes deeper than that, though. I mean, like, they weren't getting results under Ollie, and Ollie was the permanent manager. And, I think now we're seeing that it was... I know this is football and whatever, but we are seeing now that it wasn't, like, just Ollie. I know that Ollie wasn't helping things, but the players have to take the responsibility as well. And now... Once again, I remember Roy Keane saying that these players will get managers fired. Roy Keane has been saying this for a long time. The effort's not there. These players, are not good enough. They will get managers fired. And Ollie's gone. And now there's question marks around Ralph. Already there's question marks around Ralph. So that has to come a point where you look at this group of players and you go, this isn't right. This is toxic. Like, these players, they might not be doing it on purpose, but they just simply might not be good enough. Like, they might not be to the standard that we actually think they are. I mean, it's all well and good being great players, but if you can't do it on a consistent basis, then you don't belong at Old Trafford. And sadly, I think some of these players can't do it on a consistent basis. Jeremy said, can't wait to see what Mox has to say when he comes back and all these WWE people are there. Coach Co said, how does a scientist freshen her breath with experiments? I wonder why it was a her. I mean, you can have female scientists. I just wondered why it was a her. Solo Sikoa is going to be next to acknowledge the tribal chief. Thoughts on Solo joining the bloodline? I think it's a bit soon. I mean, like, from what I've seen from Solo, he needs quite a bit of work. I think that his in-ring... I mean, like, Solo really didn't have the same impact that Hook had, which is crazy. I mean, the way that Solo was presented, you really thought he's like this street fighter that's vicious, that, is no nonsense. But I don't remember Solo's debut being as impressive as what Hook was doing. And I would say that he probably needs to have a look at the way that he's like laying stuff in. I think that Solo is someone that's got great potential, but it still feels quite raw to me. Still feels like he needs work. I'm not seeing someone that can go straight to the main roster. I mean, it's not to say they wouldn't do it, but I think that he needs quite a bit of work done. So, I mean, like, his promos seem okay. Again, there's been nothing that stood out that's like, oh, I love this guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you was to call him a different name, if he wasn't an Oos, I don't know that same excitement would be around him. You know, if he was called, you know, Gary Whittingham, I don't know that the same excitement would be there. So I think the fact that he's an Uso is what's kind of catching people's attention, but it definitely doesn't feel as well-rounded as what he needs to yet. So another one that I can't see going up till potentially next year, and at that point, will there be a bloodline? I mean, there could be. To me, he feels like he fights against the bloodline at the moment, but obviously they could bring him up and have him join. But no, way too early to be thinking that. I think he's at least 12 months away from the main roster. At least. Days, did you see Tony Khan's tweet? He's signed Jake Atlas. Are we getting to the point that AEW is just signing people out of habit? I don't know. I mean, like, I don't think that they've got much of a problem. I mean, I think what's happening now is that they're actually replacing wrestlers that aren't as good. And I think, you know, in regards to Big Swole, I think that she didn't appreciate that. But I do think, you know, there was a lot of criticism for her matches. I know that Jim Cornette was very vocal about how bad she was. Even his co-host, who's quite level-headed, Brian, he was saying that he thinks she's one of the worst wrestlers he's ever seen. I don't think she's one of the worst wrestlers I've ever seen, but I must admit, when she first came in, I was very excited because I thought she had a great look. I thought she had great music. I liked her name. There was a lot about her. I was like, okay, I can get behind this girl. I like this. She was somewhat different, and I was like, I like this. I was into Big Swole. I thought that she had great potential, but she never kicked on, and I must admit that the tooth and nail cinematic thing I thought was underwhelming. And then, like, they just didn't really use her. And I think, honestly, the truth is that Tony Khan genuinely thought she just wasn't that great. If you actually... People were sharing a little excerpt of him saying that she was a good wrestler and improving. And honestly, in political talk, if you say someone's improving, it kind of means they're not that great. They're getting better. They're getting somewhere. They might get to where they need to be eventually, but they're not there now. And I must admit, I read that as Tony kind of saying, you know, she's improving. She's getting there. Let's hope she keeps developing. I kind of read that as she's not good enough. Let's hope she gets good, is basically what he was saying. So for him to turn around and say that he's let her go because he didn't think she was very good, I don't think he's lying. I think there's truth to it. I think that I don't think it's just him firing a shot for the sake of it. I think he's just telling the truth. And I think you're going to see that now. You know, he must have seen Jake Atlas and thought, wow, what a great wrestler. He must have been aware of him on the indie scene, probably. And then in NXT, Jake didn't really get much of an opportunity. He does that great top rope like cartwheel into a DDT. Does he call it a rainbow DDT or something? The rainbow DDT. He does like this cartwheel on the top rope. It's really impressive into a DDT. That's the thing that I remember most about him. His matches were all right, but didn't really blow me away. But you know, Tony Khan must feel that this is a step in the right direction. I don't really get, to be honest, why he signed Jake Atlas and Tony Nese. I don't feel like they need them, unless he's just signing them as, like, kind of good workers that can job. Do you know what I mean? Unless, like, they're going to be, like, job guys that are going to, or maybe he'll put them in a stable, put them in a tag team, or, I don't know, he must have a plan. I don't quite see it yet. I don't quite see it. But and they're not signings I would have made. But then, you know, it's a little bit like football. You can't just keep signing strikers. You can't just keep signing the people that score the goals. Like, you do need defensive midfielders. You do need people that do the heavy lifting. So, you know, in order for a CM Punk to shine, in order for a Bryan Danielson to shine, like, you do need maybe a Jake Atlas and a Tony Nese, you know, good people for that can go in the ring, that can work, that have got that indie experience. that can actually do some stuff in the ring that could put them over. So I don't know. Perhaps they're coming in as job guys. I can't read it. I don't know, because as I said, they're not signings that I would have made. But no, honestly, I don't mind. I think at this point, he must have like a spreadsheet with all the wrestlers that are signed under contract. He must have a rough idea of, I've got Elevation, I've got Dark, I've got Rampage, I've got Dynamite. I need this many wrestlers each week to fill those shows. At any point, I could have injuries, so let's cater in injuries. That might have some holidays or whatever, let's cater them in. So a rough ballpark, I need 60, 70 wrestlers. In order to accommodate these shows, I need 60 to 70 wrestlers. And then he can have a look and go, right, I've got 65, but these 10 contracts are coming up and I'm not going to renew them. So that means I need to quickly try and find like 5 wrestlers. And actually, I don't need top end. I just need job guys. So Tony Nese, he's a good hand. He was good on the indies. Jake Atlas, that'll be good. I'll bring him in. Like, there must be a plan and data that he's working to, because he's very much a data guy. They've got like data companies that can, like, you know, run all statistics and whatever. And so I don't believe for 1 second he's sitting there going, oh, I'll take him. Oh, I'll have that. Oh, I'll have him. Like, I don't believe that for a second. I think he's a lot more data driven than what people give him credit for. So I would imagine it's something along those lines. I mean, that would take you all of a few hours to do, wouldn't it? I've got these shows, this many segments. I've got this many segments a week. I'm going to need X amount of wrestlers to fill those segments. I'm going to have X amount of wrestlers that are injured, X amount of wrestlers that are on holiday. And as a result, blah, 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 you know, this is the number I need. And I think he's working to something like that. Chalmers said, I think with so many people on the roster, with more wrestlers loaned in, letting contracts expire is smart as it gets some off the wage bill. Mm-hmm. Days, have you heard that Veer might have quietly been released? Nope, I haven't heard that. That might just be because of the fact that the thing wasn't on, the coming soon thing wasn't on, and it's probably just got people panicked. Unless it's being reported by Meltzer or Sean Ross Sapp, but it might just come from that. I talked about this on my channel earlier. I think AEW are signing too many WWE guys. Deza said, do you think Tommaso Ciampa should go to the main roster? It's difficult because he doesn't want to, and traditionally people like him don't do very well on the main roster. He's not sports entertainment. He's not sports entertainment, and I think he's going to get really frustrated, and I think he knows that, and I think that's why he's fought against going to the main roster as much as he can. But he's in a really difficult situation now because he's done everything that can be done. Everyone that was around at the same time as him has moved on, and I don't know. I mean, he was around when, like, the Viking Raiders were around. He was around, like, when Cedric Alexander was about, and flipping, I don't know when he first came in, actually, but I'm guessing it was like Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, like all these kinds of people, Bobby Roode, Nakamura, and, like, you know, Johnny Gargano's left, Adam Cole has left, Kyle O'Reilly's left, Bobby Fischer's left. They've let go of tons of NXT people. Velveteen Dream obviously has gone as well. Like, a load of people that you would say were around when he was, you know, starting and in his prime. Sounds disrespectful. Of course, he's still in his prime, but he does feel like it's time for him to move on, doesn't it? And what's he going to do for the next 12 months? You've already put him in a tag team with Thatcher. So what are you going to do? Put him in another tag team? I don't know. It's really hard to know what you do with him. So you can probably muddle your way through, but I think he would bring more value elsewhere. But traditionally, people like him just don't do that well on the main roster. So I don't know. I'm worried. I'm worried for him. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if he knows what the future holds. But I mean, I'd like to see him on the main roster. I don't think they'll treat him well, though. Vince likes big guys, and Tommaso's not that big, like size-wise. And he's got intensity, but I don't know. Again, does Vince care? I don't think he does. Defcon Prime Eric Derigi said Via promos officially lasted longer than Hit Row. Hit Row. Big thank you, by the way, to everyone that has donated recently, because I have actually ordered that box now. After the kind donations we received yesterday in particular, I was like, yeah, I mean, people have been so generous. They've been so kind that I said that I would put that money towards that box, and that's exactly what I've done. So I've ordered it, and it should be here in the next few days. I genuinely don't know yet, like, how to set it up, how to properly utilize it. But basically, it's a box, and it's got like 30-odd buttons on it. And you press a button, and then like it will do something for you. So, if I want a sound effect, if I want a video played, if I want to change the scene, if I want whatever, it's just the touch of a button, and it will do that now. Whereas before, you'd have to go down into the settings, find the thing you want, highlight it, load it up, and all of that. Whereas now, it does it for you with one button. Can do crazy stuff as well. Like, I saw someone press the button. What it did is it recorded for 30 seconds, stopped recording, edited the video, and uploaded it with one touch of a button. And I was like, that is insane. That is insane. It can send tweets out for you and do all this kind of stuff. So I'm very excited about it. It wasn't cheap. It was like £200. So it wasn't cheap. But, yeah, I have ordered that. So I just wanted to let people know, because that is all down to you guys. That is all down to the support of the community. So really appreciate it. Shola says, what is AEW without debuts? They can't keep this up forever. You'd better demonstrate it. Well, I mean, it will get integrated into the streams, so it will be used. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, again, I don't quite know yet how to use it. I definitely want one for breaking news. I definitely want something for breaking news, because there's sometimes where things happen and we get like breaking news. So I would definitely like something for that. So I can see that being introduced. I'm sure eventually, as we go through the year, there'll be tons of stuff we can use it for. So it's exciting. I'm excited. Alexa Bliss, Gamer 0809 said, I think Alexa returns as a dark character, one similar to the one she had in the later part of her match against Asuka. Get out of here. One touch for real. For real. It's called Stream Deck, and I've been aware of it for a long, long time. I've never really thought of like ways to use it before, but I don't know, just things have started to kind of pop into my head of like, oh, you could use it for that. Oh, you could use it for that. And I'm excited. I'm excited for it to arrive. James Chadwick said, what match are you most looking forward to? Oh, the main event, definitely. I'm not massively bothered by this card. It's a good card, but it's not one that really I'm that fussed by. I mean, it's going to be great to see AJ, but this AJ Waller thing feels very manufactured. Feels very forced, like AJ gets called out by someone in NXT and comes down to see him. I mean, like, currently AJ's got bigger problems with Amos. Like, I don't believe that AJ would be that bothered by being called out by someone in NXT. Plus, also, he didn't really call him out that much. Do you know what I mean? It was like he just called him out a little bit online. And so I was like, I mean, it's AJ in it. It's going to be great to see him. Even if, like, the build for this is not the greatest thing ever. It's fine. I'm not like down on it. I'm just like, it's not a red hot feud. It's not how this hasn't been rumbling on for months and months and months. Like, we haven't seen Waller attacking AJ on Raw. Like, there's definitely things they could have done to have made this a bit juicier. But the truth is that Raw is focused on AJ versus Amos. So they don't want to distract you with AJ taking on Waller. So it's had to play out on NXT. Now, don't forget, I didn't see last week, so maybe there was something juicy last week. Maybe there was something good last week that I missed out on. So, I don't know. But all I can say, from what I saw, there's only been that one segment, and it was fine. It was fine. But, yeah, it's not like a months and months red hot feud. The women's match is a triple threat. Never a crazy fan about triple threats. The MSK Riddle against Imperium will be good. I love Volta, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. The unification match, I think, will be good. It's just a bit of a shame that they're going to call the championship the NXT North American Cruiserweight title. Like, don't like that. And then you've got the main event. So for me, the main event is the big draw, the big focus. Like, are we going to get a new champion tonight? I feel like we are. So that's very much what's grabbing my attention. But considering this is just a normal NXT, it's not like a takeover, it's not a Saturday night, it's just a normal week's episode. You've got to say, I mean, no complaints. No complaints whatsoever. Yeah, I don't get this. Evil has a new face. Like, why was she in the crowd? Why do they keep showing this? I don't know what that is. Like, Mandy Rose is in the crowd and she pulls back her hood and looks over. Like, they've never presented her as being like that before. She's normally like the sexy one, not like the dark, mysterious one in the crowd. So it's a weird way to present her. The Unification Showdown. Right, we've just got a video package right now that's promoting the matches that we've got tonight. Days, what do you think will happen with Alexa Bliss, The Journey, on Monday? Oh, we spoke about it. I think it'll be a vignette, and I don't think we'll get all the answers on Monday. I certainly am not expecting her to be there, so I think it'll be a vignette, and I'm looking forward to seeing, what we get. I think it will be a journey. They're saying it's going to be a journey. That suggests to me it's going to be a change. If you go on a journey, then you change. So I think we're going to see. An evolution of Alexa Bliss. I think she's going to change. I don't think Alexa will return when she returns the same way that she left. So that's what you tend to get with a journey. Her journey back to Raw begins. So I think she's going to change. It's a commercial. It's a commercial. Maybe Alexa stole Via's passport to get to Raw, because it's only going to take her a week to get to Raw, and it's taken him months. Did you get the Elgato Stream Deck XL? Yes. Yes, that's the one. What do you think of the tragic night that Owen died? Tragic? I mean, what else do you say? It was horrific, and I mean, arguably the worst thing to ever happen in WWE. I can't think of anything that would compete with it. I'm trying to think if there's anyone that passed away in the early days. Because I know that there's people that had heart attacks and whatever. But I to my knowledge, Owen is the only person to actually pass away in the ring. So, yeah, I mean, what do you say? The single worst thing that's ever happened in WWE. Here's Carmelo Hayes. So we're going over to Hayes and Roderick Strong. Okay, so Carmelo is making his way out with Trick Williams behind him. Carmelo Hayes versus Roderick Strong. We should get a little poll up, shouldn't we? His t-shirt is... it's Roderick Strong, and it says when he was born and when he passes away. There was the Benoit tragedy, but that was different. Yeah. Right, we've got who leaves as NXT champion. Let's just go for the big question. Who leaves as NXT champion? Do you think it's going to be Bron Breakker, Or do you think it's going to be Tommaso Ciampa? Who leaves as NXT champion? I could go through all the different matches, but might as well just go for the big one. Might just go for the big question. What was the one we want? Bout it. Strong versus Hayes. Days, New Japan is returning to Access TV. New Japan Wrestle Kingdom started yesterday, didn't it? Or earlier today, really, if you're in the UK. I don't know. I haven't seen any results. I'll tell you what I did see. I saw Dave Meltzer saying that it didn't feel as big as usual. Didn't feel like it was as big of a deal as usual, which I thought was very surprising because I really expected him to like really hype it up. But I haven't seen any results. Don't know who won the main event. I'm just gonna have a little look now and see if there's any results. See what Meltzer's saying. Houston, Texas. These are different things. As a fan. Best wishes. Mighty John Quinn. 3 dark matches been added tonight. Reigns Lesnar saw a huge jump. Can't see anything really at the moment. I like the new name graphics. Yeah, if anyone's been watching New Japan, by the way, let me know. I was just having a look at Dave Meltzer's Twitter there to see if he was saying anything like, wow, tonight's been amazing, or they smashed it out the park, or I couldn't see anything obvious that was jumping out. Is this the pre-show? No, this is the show. I mean, it's a normal episode, so it's on for 2 hours. We're 7 minutes into the show, and we are starting with champion versus champion, and this should be good. Primo said, do you think bigger WWE names don't see AEW as a threat like it was in 2019 since WWE isn't scared to lose talent anymore? I think they, I mean, I can't speak for people, but I would imagine that it's genuinely viewed as an alternative, not a threat. Not yet, anyway. An emerging threat. Something that could be a problem in the future, but right now and for this year, not a problem. They're not going to impact on WWE's business too much. I mean, unless you count like propaganda where, there's a lot of AEW fans saying that that's like the real wrestling show and that WWE's like just sports entertainment's rubbish. Unless that's going to change people's opinions, they're not really going to be much of a threat to WWE. Once they go to a bigger network and run at the same time, that becomes interesting. It'd be interesting to know what numbers they could get on TBS or TNT on a Monday in the same time slot. So maybe even if they didn't move networks, but they just went to a better time slot and went up against Raw, that could be interesting as well. But until they do any of those things, I think they're just viewed as an alternative. But I think what they are viewed as now compared to 2019 is a bit more established and, dare I say, cooler. I think 2019, it was like a load of wrestlers starting their own promotion. And you go, well, that's interesting. They've got a billionaire as a backing, but you don't know quite how it's going to play out. Whereas now you can see the reaction that AEW is getting and the support it's getting and the momentum that it's got. And I think it's probably seen as kind of a cool promotion. And probably, a lot of the wrestling that they allow their wrestlers to do and the unscripted promos and whatever, it's probably seen as, kind of cool. If I was a wrestler, I'd be like, yeah, I want to do that. Like, you would love to do what they're doing in AEW, but just on a bigger stage, on a bigger platform, and maybe even get the money that you're getting at WWE. So, because I'd guess WWE pays better. And also, it's got bigger reach, of course. So you'd kind of want a mixture of both if you was a wrestler. It's kind of pros and cons to both companies. Big chop by Carmelo Hayes. Roderick Strong tries to chop back, swinging away, and Carmelo Hayes ducking underneath. They've put more screens in, you know. I don't know if they'd done that last week, but there's more screens in the background. That TV screen, does it go all the way along now? Because it didn't before. When they first started, they just had the NXT logo in the middle. That was all they had. Then they added a couple of screens either side, and now it looks like those screens go all the way along. It's still got the NXT logo in the background. But, yeah, they've got those long screens. Big chops coming in. Roderick Strong thinks he's Volta. On the outside, Carmelo Hayes over by the crowds. Big chop coming in by Roderick Strong. And Malcolm Bivens is loving what he's seeing. Feels like there's a fair few people in that crowd, you know. It does need to be just that little bit bigger, doesn't it? Like, I kind of feel like it does need another 4 rows or so. I tell you, they've managed to get a noisy crowd back again as well. Lovely, I love that. Springboard leg drop by Carmelo Hayes. It's a good little opening match, this. It's got a nice pace to it. Jensen said, Roddy is great. I just wonder whether he wants to join his buddies in AEW. No one has been ready for Ivy Niall. Her ring name is the Pitbull. She's cool. I like Ivy Niall. Days, if AEW does beat WWE in the ratings at some point, what do you think Vince will do? Will WWE go in panic mode, or would they not care? No, they would care. They would care, but I don't think they would go in panic mode. Vince has been there, done that. This is not his first rodeo. You know, I think the fans get quite excited about these things, but I think Vince is just largely focused on himself. I think he is aware of what AEW are doing, and they're probably the rival that's making the most noise. But I think he's got an awareness of what's happening in the marketplace overall, because he has to. He has to know what's happening with NFL and the NBA and anything that could be a competition. So, yeah, I think he's got an awareness of them, but I think the fans focus on it a lot more. Like, in detail, I think the fans focus on it a lot more. It's good. Good little match so far. They've changed this all last week. The arena is dimmed also, says Jeremy. I would side with Diamond Mine. Defcon Prime said, my wrestling name is Ryder Strong. Nice. Edward said, what are your thoughts on the rumor doing the rounds that Goldberg will be Roman's next opponent at the Rumble? Fine. I mean, it's nothing, is it? It's just a stopgap. Stopgap to get us to WrestleMania, so I mean, it's a shame that there's no one on the roster that can do it instead. And I think we're all a bit tired of seeing Goldberg in title matches, but whatever. Roman wins, and you know, it's not the focus of the Rumble, is it? If it's going to happen, the Rumble's not the worst place for it to happen, because you don't really tune into the Rumble pay-per-view because you want to see who Roman's going to be facing. You tune in for the Rumbles. So it's not the person I would choose, but if it's going to happen, I'm pleased it's happening at the Rumble. Imagine Days, Amos comes down to attack AJ during 2.0. That'd be good. That'd be good. Shola said, AEW feels more current. WWE is still stuck a little bit in the past. Roman is going to retire Goldberg. That'd be a good way for him to retire, actually. That'd be a good way for him to retire. If this is his last match, and he does face Goldberg at the Rumble, and the rumor is true, then You know, it's a perfectly acceptable way for Goldberg to go out, and it's you would say a credible opponent for Roman. It's not an opponent that I think people would want, because they would want someone that's been on the roster full time to get that opportunity. But I don't know. Again, I go back to my original point. If they're going to do this match, and this match is going to happen, then I'm just pleased it's happening at the Royal Rumble, because I tune in for the Rumble matches more than anything else for the Rumble pay-per-view. So not really bothered who Roman faces. I don't expect him to lose at the Rumble. So is Dana getting used to her full potential at 24/7? Because I think she could do a Liv Morgan. I don't know. I kind of think they see Dana as maybe a female kind of R-Truth, just without the humor. Like, I think they see her as being someone that's, you know, reliable. She can be in a tag team. She can be a jobber. She can do 24/7 title run. I don't think they're going to pull the trigger and give her title opportunities and have her, you know, main event in shows and whatever. Maybe after a while they might do it because they feel sorry for her. Like they did that for Zack Ryder. They gave him the Intercontinental because of his service, and they took it off him 24 hours later. But don't forget, was it WrestleMania 32? Zack Ryder won the Intercontinental Championship and then dropped it the next night to Miz. Like, who knows? Maybe they'll do something nice like that for Dana. Or maybe this is them doing something nice. They've given her the 24/7 belt, and that is the nice thing they've done. Do you think this will have more of an impact than the original? What, this NXT? More of an impact? No. I mean, it's difficult because the original wasn't on network television, so you could maybe make the argument more people are watching this than the original NXT. When you say original, do you mean the game show one? Because that wasn't very good at all. For me, the one that was at Full Sail with William Regal and, you know, Balor and Sami Zayn and Asuka and Charlotte and Bayley and like that, even though it was on the network, was still very popular and loved in a way that was AEW. You know, kind of that enthusiasm you see for AEW now, that was NXT. NXT used to be that, and now AEW's kind of come along and, to a degree, stolen that away from NXT. NXT, in all fairness, lost it itself. It moved on, didn't it? It changed. It changed when it went onto the network, and it went onto the USA network and went to 2 hours. But when it was an hour and it had that kind of underground credibility, and it was selling out the Barclays Center, and they were like, do you know what I mean? Selling out arenas. They could sell out the Barclays on the Saturday for NXT and then sell it out again on the Sunday for, say, SummerSlam. That was cool. I don't know that this NXT would do that. Carmelo has got Roderick Strong, turns him over. It's a good wrestling match, this. Really entertaining. Crowd are really into it as well. The crowd are very vocal. So he has got a Boston Crab applied, but it's not brilliant. Goes over, takedown by Roderick Strong, who turns out it's like a walls. That's nice. It's like a walls. It's like an original Walls of Jericho. I don't know its actual name. It's like a stand-in Boston Crab, isn't it? The NXT game show. I love that with Brodus Clay and Husky Harris. You've unlocked an old memory. LSW said the 2014 to 2019 NXT was popular amongst wrestling fans. I wouldn't say that a bunch of casuals watched it, though. Well, true. The only thing I would say is that it had that kind of red-hot, hardcore wrestling fan, very much like AEW has got now. Very much like AEW has got now. And the fact that they were able to sell out arenas says to me, on a consistent basis, And, you know, they were touring, and whenever they came to the UK, the tours did very well. Like, it says to me that they definitely connected, maybe not with casuals, because how would casuals ever see it? But they connected with a real hardcore. I reckon there's people that only had the network for NXT. It really had that kind of essential, you need to be watching it, credibility, underground kind of vibe to it. It's brilliant. It's hard to put in words now how great NXT used to be and how different it kind of feels now. Could they sell out like the Barclays now? I've got a feeling that they could put a show on and, you know, do all right, but I don't think it would sell out now. Shoulder up by Carmelo Hayes. Screams from people in the crowds. It's good. It's a good match. I keep saying it's a good match, but we've just seen Carmelo Hayes over by the ropes as Roderick Strong bounces off the ropes. Smashing. I got overexcited. Smashing forearm strikes into Carmelo Hayes as he's bouncing off the ropes back and forth. I'm not even strong enough to knock this microphone down. I'm a Greek god. Look at me. I'm basically YouTube's Volta. Nice cutter there by Carmelo Hayes. 1, 2. Shoulder up by Roderick Strong. Shoulder up by Roderick Strong. This match rumbles on. Austin says, I didn't watch NXT every week till it went on USA. I didn't have the network till about 2 years ago. How does a cucumber become a pickle? It goes through a jarring experience. Mic down! Mic down! Yeah, you might not have seen it, but I smashed the microphone down. Absolutely smashed. I think I've broken it now. Oh, it's a mess. So strong. Top rope enziguri by Roderick Strong. Carmelo Hayes is like, oh, the mic didn't stand a chance. You're about 10 seconds ahead. Am I? You can't do that. You can't do that. That is not a great move. Don't even know what that was. Shoulder up by Roderick Strong. I don't know if that was botched, but it looked awful. Look at Malcolm Bivens. Bivens on the end, like, my precious. My precious. He is loving it. You're the next big thing because of that, like, bum, 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 bum. Carmelo. Well, someone's won. I'll let you catch up. Carmelo Hayes has won. Carmelo Hayes and Mr. Red Shoes. Mr. Bout It. There we go. He's got both belts. Mello wins. Seeing some replays. There's the forearm strike. Fun match. That match was crazy. 1 Minute Wrestler, shout out to you. Very good match. Strong is in the mud. Yeah, it's... I mean, that's what he does. He's an amazing wrestler that kind of puts people over, and he's had a little run with the title. I expected Carmelo to win. It's the age of 2.0, isn't it? So If it comes down to a black and gold wrestler against a 2.0 wrestler, 2.0 is going to win. They seem to have high hopes for Carmelo Hayes. Unified North American Champion. Oh, is that what they're calling it? The Unified North American Champion. Here's Bron. Commercial-free main event. And there is Tommaso. And here's AJ. Tommaso says, isn't this phenomenal? That's kind of cool, isn't it? Seeing AJ and Tommaso together. Be good if AJ spoke to Vince and like really put Tommaso over. Like, you need to do something with this guy. I think Vince would listen to AJ. And actually seeing them there, like, they're not too dissimilar height-wise. God, I wish that was Raw. I wish like that was Raw. That little interaction there where we're seeing AJ just have a little locker room chat with Tommaso. Like, it's cool, innit? It's cool. I wish that was Raw. Do we have an explanation as to why Vince wanted to change the format and is so against the Triple H guys? Why was he fine with it for years until recently? To be honest, I don't think he cared until recently. I think this was actually, a lot of people see it as Triple H being punished. I don't. I see it as Triple H being given his freedom. I think Vince was like, you know, I know you want your own promotion. Here's NXT. You can develop the future talent. Like, go out, find the next superstars, build them up, get me the people that are going to be the next stars of tomorrow, and you know, I'll leave you to it. And I think he did leave him to it. I think Vince used to come down, give pointers and whatever, but by and large, I think Vince was, who cares? Do you know what I mean? NXT was just on the network. Who cares? It's just free content, really, for people that had the network. So Vince didn't need to worry about it. It was something for Triple H to do. It was his own promotion. I think Triple H really enjoyed it. And it was about developing stars. But I think there's been a batch that's come up that for one reason or another has not been to Vince's liking. And I think that was causing friction. And then, of course, we found out Triple H had his heart attack, which meant it forced Triple H away. Add in the fact that you've got people coming up that I don't think Vince really liked. And I reckon Vince went down and has looked at it and gone, where's the big guys? Where's the big guy? I like big guys. Where's the big guys? Where's the sexy women? And where's the big guys? And obviously, wrestling's moved on from that. So, you know, you got Triple H trying to do, you know, what AEW are doing now with, like, cool, credible wrestling that's not based on big guys, not based on just people's looks. And then Vince comes along going, no, I want big guys and I want attractive women. So I don't think that this is Triple H being punished or anything like that. I read it more as that way. I read it more that he was left to his own devices. He was allowed to run NXT the way that he wanted. Vince left him to it. So people came up that I think were fine and, you know, did a decent job. You know, I think the 4 horsewomen came up and I think they were a great success. It just so happened that they're all very attractive and they can all wrestle and whatever. And one's the daughter of Ric Flair and so on, so on, so on. But then I think, like, you know, Keith Lee, I think Keith Lee was a bit of a problem because I think in Vince's eyes, we all saw a big guy. I think Vince saw a guy that was potentially out of shape. Vince, we know that Vince, and I said this before, Vince loves muscles, physique. He actually ran his own bodybuilding federation, the WBF, the World Bodybuilding Federation. I'm sure that's what it was called. That Vince ran a World Bodybuilding Federation in the early 90s. When Lex Luger first came into WWE, he didn't join WWE. He joined the World Bodybuilding Federation and actually did some shows just showing off his body. The reason why he did that is because I think there was a no-compete clause because he'd come from WCW, and so he couldn't wrestle straight away. So Vince was like, well, I'll use you in the bodybuilding company then. I'll use you in that promotion for a bit. So he used him over there. And that's how he was able to kind of use him but get around the non-compete clause. So anyway, cut a long story short, I think people like Keith Lee, I don't know that Vince looks at them and goes, wow, we've got something here. This is a big guy. I think he looks at him going, need to lose a bit of weight. We need to get a bit more muscle. You know, this is why I worry for Volta. I don't know if Volta's going to be up Vince's street. So, yeah, I don't think he's punishing Triple H. I just think that he wants an NXT that does more of what he wants it to do. Right, AJ Styles is coming out. It's exciting, isn't it? They don't want none. The phenomenal. Can't remember his name. What's his name? Waller. Can't remember his first name. I keep wanting to say, genuinely, I keep wanting to say Fats Waller. Because that's the only Waller I know. They don't want none. They don't want none. Right, AJ has come out. Time is going so fast. It's time for the Dusty Classic again. Yep. Yippity yip. Sonny is off to find more snacks. Are you streaming football tomorrow? Yes. Yes, we've got the Carabao Cup. I heard Liverpool want to get theirs cancelled on Thursday. So I don't know what's happening with Thursdays, but I think tomorrow's is fine. So, big Liv fan, maybe. Shout out to you. Appreciate the support, my friend. Right, we got AJ Styles chants. Grayson Waller. Grayson. Yes, real. Thank you. AJ Styles. AJ Styles. Grayson Waller. I will always enjoy that. I've done a lot in my career, and that never gets old. Thank you for that. Thank you for being amazing fans. I've got some regrets. When I started, I didn't start in NXT. My debut was Royal Rumble. That's true. Adam Keelan, shout out to you. When do you see Roman losing the title? Depends who he faces at Mania, to be honest. But I think as we get closer to 1,000 days, they might want to go for it. But we need to get past WrestleMania first. So it depends. I mean, if he's going to be facing Brock, are they going to have him lose to Brock again? Tonight, I'm a bit worried about it. So it could be Mania. Talking about the passion at NXT. It's a great crowd, by the way. Doesn't matter if it's 1.0 or 2.0. It's the passion that makes NXT go around. NXT. NXT chant. I'll be damned if I'm going to let someone take that passion away from you guys. Boos. Big boos for Grayson Waller. Is building up some heat. Right, here's Grayson Waller interrupting AJ's promo. Is he in wrestling attire? He's got a shirt on. He's got white trousers. Are they wrestling boots? AJ Styles. He's a good talker. He's a good promo. A-hole chance. Looks like he's borrowed that shirt from The Rock. Last night you lost to Omos. Snap into a Slim Jim. AJ is one of the top 5 most important wrestlers in all of WWE. It is a great crowd. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. The crowd's amazing tonight. I know why you lost. He's having a go at some dude. He's like, you see this guy here? He's been watching WWE his whole life. He says that the reason why you lost, AJ, is because you was thinking about me. So is this not a match? I thought it was going to be a match. I mean, AJ's here for a match, isn't he? Liverpool Arsenal Carabao Cup could be postponed due to increased COVID cases. Liverpool have requested the postponement. I've never had a one-on-one match here in NXT. I've got my gear on. So AJ is like, I've never had a one-on-one match. All we need is a ref and we can do this right here, right now. I thought this had been announced as a match. I don't understand. Rent-free. Someone needs to tell Grayson that Playmates Next Door wasn't on this channel and ended a few years ago. I'd do a watch-along for that, though. We can do this next week in the main event. So has AJ wore his wrestling stuff for no reason? Took underneath by AJ. AJ with a strike. Waller goes out the ring. AJ grabs him. Hurls him back into the ring. It was never announced as a match. I'm sure the graphic said versus. I thought they'd announced it last week. I want to have a look. I believe you. I just want to have a look, see if they announced it as versus. Let's have a look. See what's going on. Yeah, in all fairness, it says AJ, Grayson Waller face to face. And the little thing in between is just a dash. I thought it was a little versus. Well, seems like we're getting it next week. AJ Styles Stan maybe said, is this canon to Raw? I mean, look, this is the development brand, so this is where they go and get called up after and then go to Raw, go to SmackDown. It's there's some stuff on here that I think you could run on Raw. I like that Tommaso face-to-face with AJ backstage. Thought that was good. And, I mean, you do see some stuff on NXT that's pretty decent. Good opening match, for example, I mean, if this is a bit of a blueprint to what Raw, could become, then I don't think it's too bad. I definitely think there's things they could take from this that would improve Raw. I'd rather be watching Carmelo Hayes against Roderick Strong than Dana Brooke and Reggie versus, do you know what I mean? Like, whoever. Can't remember now. But I'd much rather be watching that kind of a match. Here is Imperium with the main man in the middle. Dun, 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 dun. There he is. I don't think we've seen him since he's lost his title. This is the first time we're seeing him. So weird, him walking out without a belt. Bartel's quite big, isn't he? I didn't realise how big Bartel was, but size-wise, he seems to be just as big as Walter. Walter chance. Dun, 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 dun. He looks awesome, doesn't he? They look awesome. It's all just awesome. So it's different as well, isn't it? The presentation is really different. You don't get teams that kind of come out and act the way that they act. It's really good, man. The Ring General. Days, is Volta sending a message by showing up tonight? Like, is he heading to the main roster? I don't think there's a message that's being sent. I just think they're trying to find ways to use him. He's a brilliant wrestler, and I suppose this is like a mini takeover, isn't it? So, Volta. It is still sad seeing him without a title. Love Imperium, says Robin. If Paul manages both Roman and Brock, I was right all along a few streams ago. I'll buy a lottery card, says Amit. Waller getting a huge push. First taking out Gargano, now in a program with AJ. Vince must love him, and he does resemble Austin Theory a little bit. Yeah, I mean, he's got a good look, good size, great promo. I can see why I can see why people are high on him. Imperium with Walter is like the Four Horsemen without Rick. Imperium with Walter is like the Four Horsemen without Rick. Are you saying that it needs a front man? 'Cause I do feel that Walter would overshadow someone. I mean, I don't disagree. You could have a fourth person in the group, but I think whoever that is going to be playing second fiddle to Walter. Walter has got great presence because we barely see him, so when we do, it feels big. I completely agree with that. Completely agree. We're about 16 minutes away. 16 minutes away from halftime scores. It's been an enjoyable show so far. I think we're doing fine. I think the score's going to be quite good when we get to the halftime scores. And I can't see that going down now that we've got Imperium taking on Riddle and MSK. I meant Imperium without Volta. Got you. From Dana since 2013, which one of her stages was your favorite? What, Dana Brooke? Which version of her was my favorite? I don't know. I mean, I just feel like she's someone that deserves an opportunity because she doesn't really get that many. So I'm trying to think, like, have her stages been that different? Like, I kind of feel I suppose the most different was when she was with Titus Worldwide and she was doing the stats and she was like a brainiac. That's probably the most different that I remember her. When she was down in NXT, she was with Emma and she was presented, I suppose that's when I liked her the most. She was presented as a legit kind of athlete. And I thought, you know, she came in with a bit of fanfare, actually. I remember her vignettes, and when she first arrived, like, they built her up to be, you know, significant. And they played, like, vignettes and videos of her at, I don't know if it was, like, women bodybuilding or whatever it was, or if it was, like, some kind of fitness exhibition. But I remember seeing footage of her, like, posing and showing off and everything. So I feel like it was, like, a female bodybuilding thing. So I remember seeing her there. And then, like, she would come out. Does she do it anymore? Where she kind of, like, does that cartwheel, but she doesn't put her hands on the floor. She kind of goes over, it stays in the air, does the splits, and then lands. It's really impressive. She used to do that as her entrances. Right, we're just seeing Kayden and Kacy. Here's Indi and Persia Pirotta. Okay, 3-on-2 match by the looks of it for next week. Oh yeah, there she is. She's kind of fun. And there's Thingy still asleep. Indi said, "Who are you?" She went, "I'm Wendy Chu." And why are you looking at me like I'm a ham sandwich? Don't know. Yeah, that's Tiffany. How was her match? Was she any good last week? Let me know. I still haven't seen it. Daddy, these girls are like, ugh. Hello, what's going on here? Wow. Got a remix. Got a DJ remixing the Riddle entrance. Bruh. The Shaman himself with the Raw Tag Team Championship. Bro. It's cool with a DJ, isn't it? It's really cool with a DJ. I like how they do something like different, a remix. Because then when he actually changes it and spins it to the proper version, you're like, yeah! It's kind of like when you're in a club and they tease you with a track and they like keep dropping different elements. Like, you know, they'll mess around with the treble or they'll bring the bass a bit lower or slow it down a bit. And you're like, they're kind of teasing you. And then they finally like let the track just go the way that you know it. It's like it hits a bit harder. I kind of feel like that's what they did there. You know, they were messing around with it, remixing it when MSK came out. And then when Riddle came out, they just played the proper version. It's like, yeah, that was good. It was good. I like Wendy Chu. Dave said she didn't look nothing too special. She was all right. She was bland. Decent match from Tiffany. Bit of a botch, but it was fair. She did decent. She had some good moves. Seems like she was all right. She's got a good look, though. I like her gimmick of, like, daddy. These girls are like, ew. Kind of feel like you can do some fun stuff with that. Right, well, here we are. Imperium versus Riddle and MSK. Days, do you get seduced by Tamina's looks? They look right into your soul. I can't say that I do, no. Jensen said, I think Volta pins one of MSK here. Imperium should win this. Have Volta pin one of MSK. We've had nearly 500 votes. Nearly 500 votes as to who is going to leave as NXT champion. I haven't actually seen the poll so far, so let's jump on it. We've got Bron Breakker, 63%. Tommaso Ciampa, 37%. That's where we are right now. So, Bron Breakker, 63%. Tommaso Ciampa, 37%. So, pretty close to being 2/3. Think it'll be Bron, and 1/3 thinks it'll be Tommaso. We've got Aichner in there. This match should be really good, says Robin. Who is the most improved wrestler in NXT? Well, hard to say, isn't it? Because a lot of the people that were around are just not around anymore. So I would have said Aaliyah. I haven't seen her in a little while, though. Where is Aaliyah? Where's Aaliyah gone? Aaliyah was absolutely atrocious. But she can actually put a bit of a match together now. She's got a much more confident. She knows her character a lot more now. So, yeah, I think Aaliyah has come on leaps and bounds. But she's not in NXT anymore. And as we said, a lot of them aren't in NXT anymore. Nice moonsault by Wesley. Kick to the midsection. We are approaching the final hour. We've got 9 minutes to go, and then we're into the final hour. Do you like Zion Quinn? XY Zion Quinn. I think he's got a good look. I think that I haven't seen enough of his matches, to be honest. I don't quite know what his gimmick is. I think I'm not a big fan of his entrance gear. Because I think, doesn't he come out with, like, a big, like, traditional necklace thing? I don't know. I can't quite get a read as to what his character is, so it's hard for me to get, like, invested in him. I just know that he's got a good look. They're doing something with him and Legado. We'll have to see. I kind of feel like by the time he goes to the main roster, he will have evolved a bit more than where he is right now. Feels very early. Feels like they're still kind of figuring things out. How strange Tamina has been with WWE since 2010 and has only won one title. Are you a fan of her? Not really. I don't think she's very good. She's the daughter of Jimmy Superfly Snuka, and she can't do a splash off the top. I don't really know what she brings. Day's best manager in WWE of recent times. It's gotta be Heyman, isn't it? I mean, I don't know if he counts as a manager, but he does manager things. So, I know he calls himself an advocate and whatnot, but yeah, it's got to be. I mean, Heyman's one of the greatest of all time. Double stomp, great work by MSK. Volta is back out. Well, he's stepping in. Charges into Wesley, delivers a big boot to Riddle. Big chop coming in. Volta's got a bit of colour on the side of his ring gear. What's this about? What's going on? Big chop. He's just got Wesley. holding him upside down against the ropes, and Imperium, they've kind of evolved their trunks, haven't they? They've got, like, I don't know if it's the colours of their nations or whatever on the side, but... shout out to my uncle, Zach Green, a.k.a. Nash Carter. Robert, shout out to you. Hope you are enjoying the action. Harley said, do you remember how unpredictable both Rumbles were last year? Do you think it's even more unpredictable? Well, I do think it is very unpredictable, yeah. I think, you know, it's hard to know who's going to win. You can make arguments for quite a few people, so I like it. I like the fact that we don't quite know, 100% which way it's going to go. You can have some favourites. I think it's easier to predict the women's than it is to predict the men's, but, you know, I still wouldn't be confident. I'm thinking Liv or Bayley. There's every chance it's neither of them that win it, so it is very, very unpredictable, yeah. It's good. Miss Clown 1 said, I should be Brock Lesnar's advocate. Your geisha should be Brock Lesnar's advocate. It was a heartwarming time when she and Natty won the tag titles and had a celebration, says Jacko. Volta looks a lot more slim. Yeah, yeah. He does. He doesn't look as big as he did. Yeah, I agree. He definitely doesn't look as big. Volta is a beast, said Zoom Station. Volta's not even fat. Why would Vince not like him? Well, I think he's lost some weight now. I wonder if that's got something to do with him going to the main roster. The men's is hard to predict. The women's, I think, will be Liv or Alexa. Sonny said, when I get my crystals and other Christmas stuff, can I make a video and send it to you? Sure. For the web, I couldn't make a video because I don't have it all. Yep, no worries. I really like that idea of people sending in, like, comments and questions about the week in wrestling, or just things that they want to talk about, and I really like that. We're trying to find ways of growing the podcast. So on a Tuesday, I do a podcast, which is it's got its own channel, so it's not hard to find. It's the Wrestling Escape Pod. And we just go where the conversation goes. And this week it was very much about Christmas, New Year. But I like the idea of just send me your videos. I'll play them. Whatever the questions are, we just go with that. That could be interesting. So I'm kind of thinking about things. Do you think Charlotte is unhappy at WWE? Probably. Andrade's not there, so her man's not there, and she's seemingly fallen out with quite a few people. I'd imagine she's got some friends, though, that she confides in and hangs out with. I'd imagine there are people that, you know, she likes to hang around with. Maybe she gets on with, like, the makeup people. Maybe she get, like, some agents that she gets on with. She'll know a lot of people, because her dad was Ric Flair, so she's grown up in the business. And, you know, she'll command a lot of respect, but I don't know how close she is with people. You hear a lot of rumours that she's difficult backstage, you know, so I don't know. Nash trying to make the tag, and Imperium grabbing Wesley and Riddle, pulling them off the edge of the ring, and a sit-down sent on by Volta, and a kick out. Days, most unforgettable Royal Rumble winner in recent times. Unpopular, but I feel like it's Edge, says Outdoor. Most unforgettable Rumble winner in recent times. Most unforgettable Rumble winner in recent times. That's hard. I think that's really hard. I feel like Roman in 2015, if that counts, because of the reaction he got. Like that was a big reaction. Everyone wanted Daniel Bryan, Roman won. They even brought The Rock out when he won straight after to be in the ring with him. And the boos that were raining down makes that unforgettable, but for a very, very different reason. So, like, I'm thinking Roman in 2015, for that reason, makes it kind of unforgettable. For me, Asuka winning the first women's is unforgettable because it was the first ever women's, and I love Asuka. So that, for me, was absolutely brilliant. So that one comes into mind as well. And what was it, 2016, when Triple H won? And the winner won the belt. I don't know if that was unforgettable, though. But it was, because the title was on the line, it was significant. So, I'm thinking those, personally. Suicide Dives by MSK. We are an hour in. We should be getting our halftime scores very, very soon. Riddle throwing Volta back into the ring. Looking for a German, and he gets it, and he bridges, and Volta kicks out. Took some strength, didn't it? Randy was boring and predictable in his last Rumble win. Did you see that, Custom? No, do you know, I went back in my notifications, couldn't find it. I went back to have a look, see if I could see it, because I went onto Twitter after the stream the other day. I couldn't see it. So, I don't know. I mean, in fairness, I am really out of sorts with Twitter. There was quite a lot I needed to catch up on. But I couldn't find it. Send it again. Feel free to send it again. Volta, powerbomb, going for the cover. 1, 2. Oh, shoulder up by Riddle. Erase Your Mind said, this is freaking great. Where is Asuka? Did she get released? No, she injured her arm, so she should be back soon. King Prince said, what is your favorite wrestling championship? The Winged Eagle WWE Championship. I do like the UK one as well. I think it looks brilliant. We've got a This Is Awesome chant. We've still got the NXT Championship match coming up. Top rope Enziguri. Oh, good strength. Look at that by Aichner. Bartel just threw Riddle upside down to Aichner, who caught him and then planted him down. Good save by Nash Carter. NXT chants. Carter thrown out the ring. Riddle is channeling his inner Randy. Alberto would have been completely forgettable if not for the silly ending with Santino, said David. Imperium in control. Volta in. Another German. Volta rolls out the ring. Riddle tags in Nash Carter. Nice. Good tag team work here. Floating bro. Riddle. Oh, an RKO. Wow. 1, 2, 3. Riddle wins with an RKO. Wow. Riddle with an RKO. What past special heavyweight bout did you like the look of? What do you mean heavyweight bout? I like the Winged Eagle, as I said, WWE Championship. Okay, I put it up again. I deleted the previous one. I will look right now before I lose it again. Nice. Pink Dolph Ziggler. Looks good. I really like your signed Daniel Bryan that you've got in the background as well. Very nice. Very nice. Looks good. Good job. Randy would be so proud. Riddle and NSK win a great match. Shola said, is this the best NXT 2.0 ever? There's a chance. I mean, I think it's a very good show. It's got good wrestling. It's going along quite good. I don't know that there's anything that's blowing my mind, though. But yeah, it's very good. Is Volta losing? A sign Vince doesn't see anything in him. I won't read anything into it. We're just seeing Gacy and Haaland. Days, do you think Bron Breakker might face Samoa Joe next if he wins the title? I don't know when Joe's coming back, but as soon as we know what's happening with Joe and when Joe might be coming back, then we'll get maybe a better idea as to what the future's going to hold. But I don't know where Joe is. If Joe's coming back soon, then yeah. As soon as Joe comes back, whoever's got the title, Joe will surely be facing. And yeah, I've got to think that would be Bron Breakker, because if Bron does get the title tonight, like I'm thinking he will, then I think it'll be a case that Samoa Joe will face the champion. Right, we're just hearing from Gacy. We are a viable tag team, so I think we're looking at the Dusty Rhodes winners here. Haaland and Gacy, I can't see them losing. So that's interesting. They're announcing themselves. What's this? We've got a helicopter. Mandy Rose is coming by helicopter. God, that doesn't look like a great helicopter. The champ is going to arrive in style. That is exactly how a champion arrives in style. So we're seeing the helicopter land. I've been to the Performance Center. I'm not aware of any open ground like that a helicopter could land on, to be honest. So I think she's gone to the wrong place. So that would be mega lols, wouldn't it? Imagine that. She gets out, she's like, oh, you idiots! I didn't say DY7, I said DY9. Oh my God. We're over the other side of town. Ah! That'd be hilarious. Logan Paul might have spent $3.5 million on fake Pokemon cards. Lol. Have you seen that he's launching a new flipping drink with KSI? Who's buying that? Well, their fans are going to buy it, aren't they? That's who's buying it. Halftime scores. Get in your halftime scores. David said that was pathetic and pointless. Imagine if she dropped the title out of the helicopter. Hype Man said, I think Cora Jade is going to win. Could you imagine if that helicopter segment wasn't pre-recorded and the engine was too loud to hear Mandy? Maybe she's in the same place as Via. Oh my God. Do you reckon they keep using the same helicopter and they're all just getting dropped off in this random place? We've just got all these WWE superstars that are just, you know, everyone thinks that Toni Storm has walked out. She hasn't. She just got in that helicopter. In a minute, she's going to pop up. Anyone else get quite excited when we saw the helicopter and we were like, oh my God, who's this? And then it turned out to be Mandy Rose and you was like, Logan says 7. Joseph says 9.25. David said 7.75. Angela with an 8. Justin with an 8. Robin with the 9. We got a 775. We got an 8. We got a 7. Another 7. We got an 8. We got a 7. Lots of 8s. 875. Logan, Paul, and KSI are very smart in terms of business. I can't get a read of it, you know. I mean, they've got a lot of fans, so I can only imagine the fans are going to buy the drinks. Like, those two joining forces, that drink should sell. But, man, the drinks market is so competitive. So competitive. Like, how are you going to... But then I suppose, you know, their fan base will see them all, right? Their fan base will buy it. But honestly, as soon as you've bought one and tried one, that's it. The thing with drinks market is that you need that returning custom. I don't know. I don't know that I see it working. What is your favorite WWE championship? What is your favorite AEW championship? What do you like better? Favorite WWE championship probably be the Winged Eagle. Favorite AEW championship would be the current AEW championship. What do I like better? The Winged Eagle. Jacko said 0 because there's no Pete Rosenberg tonight. I thought he was going to be fighting Von Wagner. James Chadwick said 8 out of 10. It's been really great. Rice said, what's going on with NXT UK? I don't think it's on, isn't it? And everything. I think it's all on and happening. Is it Thursday or a Friday on the network? WWE Network. Days, will Ziggler get a push again? Well, I mean, he's getting a little push right now. He was competing for the United States Championship. But will he ever get back up to a world title? I don't think so. Here's Elektra Lopez. Yeah, what's happening? Keep on wondering. I joined Legado del Fantasma. Legado del Fantasma. When someone catches your eye, it makes you look at things differently. Next week, you'll get your answer. The winner of Zion and Santos leaves with Elektra Lopez. Can I be in that match? Can I enter that match? I'll enter that match. I'll smash them both apart. Hang on, who's in it? Santos. And, oh no, I'll probably lose. Right, here's Cora Jade with her little skateboards. Cora Jade. She reminds me a lot of the girl out of Parks and Recreation. The, what's her name? Aubrey Plaza, I think her name is. Imagine if Via showed up on SmackDown, not Raw. Elektra Lopez with a lovely-looking necklace. Right, here's Raquel Gonzalez, who's really taken to driving this bike. She loves this bike. Raquel Gonzalez. It's like arriving in the flipping Batmobile. Bat bike. Mandy. Teach you some pictures of my whole shelf. Feel free to check it out. I also did a bum ass Corbin. Very cool. Days, what is your favourite WWE figure? What is your favourite AEW figure? Which one do you like better? I don't know on AEW figures because I don't collect them. WWE figures, I like the Ultimate Edition Finn Balor. Edward said, I'm excited for it to come to the UK. Can't wait. Big up KSI and Logan. Again with the motorcycle. Here is Mandy Rose. She's got a couple of wings. Why did she come by helicopter then if she's got wings? Pfft. Mandy Rose. They're not fake Pokemon cards. He showed the prints of them, went for home and did it on camera. Who cares? Who cares? Right, Mandy Rose has made her way down. I like the Make-A-Wish John Cena figure. Yeah, it's really cool. Days, do you like Science Quinn? I'm a big fan of Science Quinn, yeah. I love Science Quinn. I also like Geography Quinn, History Quinn, RE Quinn, Home Ec Quinn, and Maths Quinn. Maths Quinn's my favourite. London Askew, Ty Conti fan, hope you are well. Sonny said, I've ridden on a motorcycle before. Oh. I bet Mandy Rose likes Red Bull. Do more figure reviews. I miss them for the history and the knowledge that you talk about. Outdoor, shout out to you, dudes. Rachel said, I hope Bron Breakker, because of NXT, good luck everyone, especially you, Mandy Rose, because you've got 2 people involved in that match. How will you remain champion? Think about that. Think about it. Think about it, Mandy Rose. How are you going to remain champion? Are you thinking? You better be thinking. I don't think she's thinking. Over in the corner. Days, because she drank a Red Bull. A Red Bull? She drank a Red Bull. What's a Red Bull, Johnny? Is that a new drink? How many new drinks are coming out now? Oh my God, Red Bull. Prime, Red Bull. It's all happening. Cora Jade in there with Raquel Gonzalez, goes charging over. Raquel drops that top rope down. Against the ropes, gets tripped, pulled out the ring, charged into the edge of the ring, and again, Burch, and a big forearm strike, big kick by Raquel Gonzalez. Cora Jade comes crashing down onto Raquel. Yeah, just excited. Don't know why, but Cora Jade looks quite old in the face to me. I don't know what it is. I keep looking at her and I'm like, she looks like she could be about 28 or so in the face. I believe she's about 22, isn't she? I'm pretended to be in Raw once in a dream. That's nice. I'm a little intimidated by Raquel Gonzalez because to me she looks like Sonya Deville, who scares me half to death. Cora would be a better champion than Mandy. Let's go Jade, says Joseph. Days, just to let you know, I've changed my name to KSI's biggest fan. That's fine. Is she 20? I don't know. I thought she was about 22. She could be 20. Fall away slam. Cora turns 20-something this month. Right. We are at commercial break. 20 minutes gone. I bet you wouldn't say that to her face. Well, when would it come up in conversation? Would I go up to her and go, do you know what? You look about 28 in the face. Like, I don't know. If she came up to you and went, how old do you think I look? I'd go, in the face, about 28. Like, you look a bit older than what I'm being told you are. And if she's 20, I definitely think she looks older than that in the face. So would I go, do you know, it always makes me laugh when people go, oh, you'd never go up to her and say that. No, of course you wouldn't. Why would you ever go up to someone and say, oh, you know, your last match, it sucked? Why would you ever do that? But if they turned around to you, if it was in person and they were like, honestly, what did you think of my last match? You'd go, well, honestly, it wasn't to my taste. You know. Yeah, I mean, why would you say that to their face? I don't know. Google said she's 20. She turns 21 on the 14th. Don't call Cora Jade old. I didn't say she was old. I said she looks older in the face than what I think she's meant to be. If we're being told she's 20, and I'm believing that that's her true age. I'm just saying that I do keep looking at her and thinking like she looks a little bit older. She looks late 20s. Actually, in all fairness, to someone in their 20s, I don't think that's that bad. When I was in my early 20s, if someone had said I looked like I was in my late 20s, that's not a problem. If I'd have said she looked 50, then I think we would have something. Then we'd have something that would be a conversation. But I don't think she looks old. I'm not saying she's looking like that. How would you know her birthday? I think Wyndham is in the helicopter. Totes. I would say it to their face, says Dave. Cora Jade is going to be 21 soon. A natural 21, not a fake 21 like you. Shut up. Motorcycles are fast and they make the butt fall asleep. Amazing. She's turning the same age as Days. Yeah, I mean, look. I'm quite happy to say the same thing about myself. I'm early 20s and I think I look older as well. Just saying. She's really 46. She smokes, and it's all smoke and mirrors. Got to keep kayfabe alive. What do you mean when you was early 20s? You're only 21. Yeah, but do you know what I mean? I've been 21 a while now. I feel like an old 21. You look 28, then you wake up in the hospital. Careful days. These days you can't have an opinion without the internet white knights swooping in to defend. I don't know what I'm saying is she looks older in the face to me than 20. If, I don't think that's offensive. If I said she was 50, then we'd have a conversation. Right, we've got Mandy and Raquel in the ring. Cora Jade over by the sides. Old woman Cora Jade. Big kick coming in by Cora Jade. Cora Jade has got a boyfriend in NXT. He was called Trey Baxter. I don't know if they were really in a relationship, though, to be honest. Or if it was just storyline. Will Ciampa go to the main roster? I don't know. It's difficult. We was talking about that earlier. It's difficult. I kind of think that someone like him might struggle on the main roster. Slam by Raquel. Have we got a "This is awesome" chant? Head scissor takedown to Raquel. Cora Jade running over, goes against the ropes. Head scissor takedown to Mandy Rose. Kick to the midsection. Uppercut. Against the ropes. Knee strike coming in. Backbreaker. Backbreaker by Raquel Gonzalez. We've got 36 minutes to go. Wyndham couldn't make it to his movie. It was delayed by that helicopter. Throws Cora Jade down, and Mandy Rose wasn't there to... I don't understand. What's the problem? What's the problem? Raquel Gonzalez picked up Cora Jade, threw her out the ring, and everyone's like, oh my God, oh. What's the issue? It's a flipping triple threat. She picked up one of her opponents and threw her out the ring. They made it look like a botch. Gonzalez grabbing the legs of Mandy. It's a fake botch. Yeah, fake botch. Comes across as a fake botch. They made it look like it's a botch. Strike. Mandy goes down. You're really mid. That is early 40, said Edward. No, I'm 21. Imagine the lights go out and it's Bray, cosplayer, trolling the crowd. 1, 2, kick out by Raquel. They're upset that they threw out an old-looking 20-year-old. It is a big deal. Oh, it is true, actually. You shouldn't be treating old people that way. You can't go... She could have thrown her hip out. She's going to need a Stanner stair lift to get back into the ring now. Old Cora Jade. Face first. Is a fake botch a thing? It is now. A fake botch. Missed with a knee strike. Mark, shout out to you, my friend. Hope you are well and enjoying the action. Chris Wrestling Views said, when do we get another toy hunt? Yeah, I never got a chance to go and finish that last one, which I was absolutely adamant I was going to do. In all fairness, though, when I recorded it, I don't know if I knew about the party, and that just flipping derailed everything. Cora Jade with a senton. It's a pretty brutal senton. She really landed hard. Grabs Cora Jade, hurls her into the corner. Forearm strike. Tamina and Dana actually run strength classes for women at NXT. Cora Jade pushes Raquel Gonzalez out the ring. Okay, so we've got Cora Jade in there with Mandy Rose. What's green and has got wheels? Grass. I lied about the wheels. I like that. I like that. That's a good joke. 1, 2, 3. Mandy Rose wins. Daze, did you ever hear about the new guy from NXT called Tommaso Ciampa? I've never heard about him, no. Right, Mandy Rose has retained. How long have we got? Half an hour to go. Robin says no. Mandy cringe. Guys, they couldn't put the title on Cora Jade. She has to go to bingo on a flipping Tuesday night with the girls. Talk about the war. Mandy with a sloppy finish. Mandy as a brunette. That was the right finish for Cora to take the pin, even if it was sloppy, like the Becky finish over Liv. That match was awesome, says Dave. Real says, terrible ending. Taboy said, I wanted Cora to win, but Mandy needs a longer reign. WWE vibes. I feel like Bron will pull a huge spot to win the NXT Championship and make it memorable. Here's Boa. The powers are uncontrollable. I cannot contain them. Please let me face Solo Sikoa by myself. Please, powers. You should call those powers Austin. How's it next to him? Bring it in. Give me a hug. Later, dudes. Here's the Creed brothers. There's a lot of good teams, actually, for the Dusty Cup now. Creed brothers, MSK, that Briggs and whoever. We've got Imperium, Legado, Haaland and Gacy. Can MSK become the first team to win the Dusty Cup twice? No. I think it's going to be Gacy and Haaland, to be honest. Chase University. Right, mate. Andre Chase versus... No, what am I doing? I don't know what he's going to do. It's probably a promo. Ciampa versus Breakker. We'll get a promo, and then we'll move on to our main event. Who won the Women's Championship match? It's Mandy, isn't it? Yes. Days, what one moment in WWE history that made you hysterically laugh when it was not meant to? The Fiend being burnt. Well, I don't know if that made me hysterically laugh. I just couldn't believe they had done it. I remember as well, actually, talking to the Fiend coming back to life in the back of that ambulance. I can remember, like, laughing at that, going, what are they doing? And then I looked at the chat and everyone's like, this is so cool. And that was a real kind of, oh, kind of moment for me. So I've got a few examples of that with the Fiend. Prior to that, things that you laughed at that you probably weren't supposed to. So no, those are the most recent examples I can remember, to be honest. There's probably been some bad performances in the ring that I've laughed at that I probably wasn't meant to. Botches and whatnot, you know. It's a good question. Feel free to answer that. Hello, what's this? Andre Chase is recognizing a student. A man I'm so proud of. deserve it. Shh, 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 shh. Long-haired Tony. First ever. Full scholarship. It won't be him. Who is it? Von Wagner. He's got a good look, hasn't he, Von Wagner, in all fairness? The Shotmaster. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Titus falling under the ring made me laugh. It still does. They did the Amazon with Kane too. People probably didn't complain. I laughed at Booker T repeatedly saying Batista down 10 times. Tonight is black and gold is dead. Breakker puts the final nail in the coffin. The Rock's concert to Stone Cold was very funny in Raw 2003. I laughed at all of Ahmed Johnson's promos. I only need to be liked by the people that matter, says Von Wagner. I'm everything you're not. So it looks like we're building towards Andre Chase against Von Wagner. Clothesline. So Von Wagner attacking Andre Chase. What happens to all the people that are normally sat in that section? So, you know those Chase University people? They're not always there, are they? So what happens to the people that are normally there? Where do they go? Or do they just fill that segment with Performance Center recruits? Von Wagner grabbing long-haired Tony. Oh, yeah, look, now he's grabbing someone out the front row. So I'm guessing they do just fill that segment with Performance Center recruits. That's maybe why the crowd are so good. Maybe that's why the crowd are so vocal. It's basically their employees. Have you heard the rumor about butter? Never mind, I wouldn't be spreading it. Days, have you been enjoying the show? Do you think it could be better? I've got a weird relationship with this show because I think the matches are fine. I don't know why. I don't know if it's me. Nothing is blowing my mind tonight. Like, I'm just seeing some good matches. I think it's a really solid show. There's nothing that I'm hating. It's not like I'm seeing loads of stuff and I'm like getting, well, I don't know. I'm just a bit like, I don't know. I think this is the match I've been looking forward to the most. And I think the first match, the unification match, was good. But it's just, it feels like tonight has been a solid night rather than a spectacular one. But this main event has obviously got a hell of a history. Bron Breakker's got a hell of a future. And I kind of feel like this is really something that can tickle the scores. That was good interaction a few weeks back. There's Bron Breakker. He's got a black singlet. I like him in a black singlet. There's Tommaso. It's a very AEW-like show, says David. WrestleLandy said, Days, did you know that Vindicate Diesel is not actually a car? Is not actually a form of petrol? Is that what it is? I'm going to guess at that. Did you know that Vin Diesel, you can't actually put Vin Diesel in your car? Did you know that Von Wagner's dad was one half of the Beverly Brothers? Yes. But Bo Beverly, I think, was it? I remember that because when he was being called Cal Bloom, they were talking about it. He's got some new gear. The six-man tag was great, but you probably hated it because it was fast-paced. I don't mind fast-paced stuff. I don't mind it. I do prefer matches that have ebbs and flows. I do prefer more like a Brian Danielson type match rather than like, a Lucha Bros kind of thing that's just a million miles an hour. Let's do every move we can within 5 minutes. I must admit that six-man didn't blow my mind. I thought that it was fine for what it was. But yeah, you're probably right. Those kind of matches never really grabbed me. I don't mind them as like show openers. Because they just kind of set the pace and they serve a purpose. That was nice because it had Volta and it had Riddle in. So, and I don't remember any spots in there that were like stupid or like, just outrageous. Of course, you get your usual suicide dive that you get in every match, but I thought it was fine. I didn't hate on the match. If that match blew your mind and you're like, this show is one of the best things I've seen, that match is incredible kind of a thing, it didn't have that effect on me. I think, to be honest, right now I'm at about a 7. I think there was a lot of like, at the halftime scores, there was like 7, 7.5, 8s. Kind of feel like there was a lot around that 7 to 8 mark. I'm probably at a 7. I am looking to go up. I think I will be going up because I think this main event is going to deliver. I think this main event's going to be brilliant. So I'm really looking forward to this main event. But I have been sat here thinking, is this like a 7.5 show? It's really solid, but I don't know. I just can't get a read of it. For some reason, like maybe my expectations were too high. I don't know. Because normally on an NXT, you don't know loads of what you're going to get. You get like a couple of segments that you know. And then obviously as the show's going on, then, if you get some stuff that really delivers, you can be like, do you know what? The show is actually all right. Like, I really enjoyed that. And a couple of weeks ago, we gave it 7.5, which is a good score. It's a good score. But this one, because we saw all the matches we were getting, perhaps I went into it with like higher expectations that it was going to be, amazing. And as I said, for some people, I'm sure it is. I just got a Licorice Pizza ad. Oh, I really want to see that film. I really want to see it. We've spoke about it so much. I really want to watch it now. David said it's about a 7.25 for me. I could be around that ballpark. Stop being a boomer. Oh, I do it so well though. I'm a professional. I'm a professional boomer. That's my title. Not influencer or YouTuber, professional boomer. Thoughts on the Newman adverts on BT? I haven't been paying him attention, bud. I haven't been paying him attention. The Beast Incarnate. RIP Boiled Water, you will be missed. Alex said, did you know that Cena versus Rock at WrestleMania 28 is a decade old? Do you feel older than usual? No, I feel about the same. I feel pretty old most times anyway. Days is the person in the crowd with the beanie on, looks like a blonde Bo Dallas. That person is in the crowd. There's a person in the crowd with a beanie on that looks like a blonde Bo Dallas. Right, are we going into an overrun here? Because we've got 16 minutes to go, that's all. 16 minutes to go. Main event, then 2 hours till the Jeff Jarrett podcast, says Matthew. There is an 8-minute overrun. Right. 8-minute overrun. Do you think when Roman loses the title, he will retire? I don't think so. There's Ivy Niall. Ivy Niall staring at Von Wagner. She's... Oh, here's Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes. From the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. That damn Ted DiBiase. It's time I create my own legacy. Ah, 2022, the moon. I like that. 2022, the moon. Very good. Next week, we've got AJ Styles taking on Grayson Waller. It's a good main event, that is. Good main event. Thought we were getting that this week, but it's probably right they do postpone it. XY Zion Quinn taking on Santos Escobar. Winner leaves with Elektra Lopez. Crowbar on a pole match. Pete Dunne versus Tony D'Angelo. Man, they're stacking these shows, aren't they? Crowbar on a pole match. Yeah, look at that. The old NXT logo. And we got Bron Breakker in chains. And he breaks the chains. The old NXT logo goes and Bron Breakker's graphic appears. It's an interesting visual. And now he's got the... Is he going to break the X as well? Well, this is all very depressing, isn't it? Did you see what he did to that polystyrene X? He's a bad man. He is a bad man. Take that, polystyrene. I think Bron's winning here. After what he just did to that polystyrene X, I don't want him to win. It's just weird. I mean, like, how long did it take him to, like, tie himself to them chains and, like, get into position for his entrance? It's just a bit weird. Going Ghost. Days, if you had to face one of these in a match, who would you face? Undertaker in his prime, Kane in his prime, or Mankind in his prime? I feel like Undertaker, because I think he was quite a safe worker. Mankind, you just don't know what you're going to get, do you, in a Mankind match? I'd say Undertaker. Be a great story. I think if you tell people you faced Undertaker, that will mean more than if you say you faced Mankind. Casual fans, that is. Like, my mom's heard of Undertaker. She ain't heard of Mankind. So I think it's a cool story. And I think Undertaker was a safe worker, so go with him. Ding, ding, ding. Right, Tommaso Ciampa. Bron Breakker. 8-minute overrun. We got 20 minutes then. 20 minutes is what we've got. Bron Breakker. Big E should be added to the crowbar on a pole match. If he wins, he won't be champion, but it's better to be a guy with a crowbar than be a guy without one. Undertaker would be the easiest to deal with, says Austin. Shannon said, my Steiner math calculations determine that Bron is winning the NXT Championship. eBay is useless. I tried to look up lighters, and all they had was 13,749 matches. Right. Let's end this poll. See what the final result has come in at. Wrestle with Andy said, we are all witnessing the future of professional wrestling. Yeah. I mean, I do like that referee as well. She is good. And I think she will make it big on the main roster. I completely agree. Who leaves as NXT champion? Bron Breakker, 63%. Tommaso Ciampa, 36%. That is where we are. Oh, he got him right in the boob, you know. Ciampa got him right in the boob. I like these two. This is a good feud. I like this feud. I like these two working together. Duck underneath by Ciampa. Over the top goes Breakker. Nice roll. Looking for a delayed vertical. He's got Ciampa up. Look, he's holding him up there. Even when Ciampa was falling, look, he corrects it. That is serious strength that Bron Breakker possesses. Even with Tommaso, like, going off balance, Bron Breakker's, like, still... At one point, Tommaso was over here, and Breakker, like brought him back. Like, he was very much in control of that situation. He didn't just have him up, but he was in control of it. You would have a higher chance of not dying or getting injured with Taker. Is Ric Flair's 16 titles that impressive? I get the history part, but that does mean that he lost 16 times. I think it is impressive because I think it means that they consistently wanted him at the top. He was consistently getting back into main events, competing for the title. So, if you have one title reign, it could be a long title reign, and I think that should be viewed as equally as impressive. Like Bruno Sammartino's 7-year run as champion, 11 in total, is incredible and doesn't get the respect it deserves because he only had 2 title reigns. How does that compare with Ric Flair's 16? As you said, it means he lost a lot of times. But him losing isn't really his fault. Like, he has to put it as a heel, he's got to put over the baby faces. And so him losing the title, it's understandable. The fact, though, that he kept being the person they kept going back to and putting the belt back on just shows how big of a deal he was. The fact that he lived in the main event scene, So I do think it's impressive. But I do think also it gets probably a bit too much praise. Because you are right, it also means that he lost consistently. And actually, it's comparable to me as what Bruno achieved. I think it would be better if rather than how many reigns you had, how many days as champion did you have? That's better. How many days as champion was you? How many days was you in that main event scene? Of course, you could challenge for the title and not get it. You'd still be in the main event scene, but it's a good barometer, isn't it? How many days was you champion for? So, how does Ric Flair's 16 reigns add up compared to Bruno's 11 years? How does John Cena's? In all fairness, John Cena, isn't he tied with Ric Flair? So, how many days was Ric Flair champion? How many days was Cena champion? Who was champion for longer? Like, that should be taken into account. So, yeah, I agree. Knee strike by Tommaso. Bron goes outside the ring. Luke said, gonna go big. Yeah, I want to go big. Then say that. Ciampa patting himself on the back. Luke, I hope you are well. I hope you are enjoying NXT tonight. Good energy in this main event. Really good energy in this main event. Days, can you see Bobby beating Brock and then Brock putting himself in the Rumble and winning it to fight Roman at Mania? Can you see Bobby beating Brock? No. And then Brock putting himself in the Rumble to face Roman at Mania. I suppose that would be a way to do it, to get Brock to that match. I don't know. Can I see Bobby beating Brock? Can I see Brock putting Bobby over? I can't, to be honest. I'd like it to go that way, though. It'd be a great win, that would. I mean, there's not many people that beat Brock. Not many people that beat Brock at all. So if they was to give that to Bobby, it would be significant. Charlotte is a 12-time champ, but all her reigns are short, and she lost 12 times. Yeah, again, you could do the same thing, couldn't you? Add up Charlotte's title reigns. So I understand that wrestlers need something to shout about. Like, if I was a wrestler and I had multiple reigns, I'd be doing the exact same thing. I am a 12-time WWE champ. Like, I would be doing that. Because it sounds good and significant. But as you rightly say, it does mean that they lost so many times. But equally, you know, if I'd only had the one title reign, if it had been quite long, I'd be shouting about how many days I'd been champion for. Because honestly, that might beat a lot of people that have had 3-4 reigns. When you add it up together, you could easily beat them with the number of days that you were champion for. I think it's a better barometer. I like that as well, because then what that would mean is that when you become champion, you're adding to your days as champion. You know, it could be that someone sets themselves the target of being champion for 1,000 days. I want this title and I want to hold it for 1,000 days by the end of my career, like at least. I don't want to be a champion that just holds it for a week or a month. Like, I want to have significant title reigns. I might not be able to do it all in one go, but that's my goal. I want to leave something that I can be proud of. And I think that 1,000 days, over 1,000 days as champion, I think I could be really proud of that. And then, like, their first title reign might only be 30 days. And then they can be like, I need to get back. Like, my goal is 1,000 days. And all of a sudden, then, like, not just winning the title becomes the story, but actually the title reign becomes the story as well. And, like, you're expanding. Because a lot of the times when people become champion, that's it. They've reached the mountaintop. Well, what if you change the goalpost and you actually make something else the mountaintop? So it's not just being champion that's the mountaintop now. It's how long you hold that championship for. That becomes the mountaintop. And you're not going to achieve that really until your career is done. And that allows you to constantly chase after something throughout your whole career. Unless you have an incredible career and you sail past 1,000 days as champion quite quickly. That is, I think, something you could chase after. And the crowd would be right there with you as well. And, you know, they could be counting it down with you. You could have merch, like, once you get past 500 days, and maybe then you lose the title, and it's a constant narrative that's always there. It's maybe not going to work for everyone because it might get a bit tiresome if everyone does it, but it's certainly something that I think would be a great gimmick for a wrestler. Someone like Charlotte could use it, rather, but she's very much focused on number of reigns, isn't she? But someone else could use it. Big chop by Tommaso. He hurls Bron Breakker outside the ring. Tommaso Ciampa on the outside, running round. Knee. Oh, nasty knee. Nasty knee strike. Cena was champion for 133 days longer. Without checking, Flair has held the title for way more days than Cena. Edwards saying it's the other way around, which is quite interesting. Blood coming down the side of the face of Tommaso. Spear. Big spear by Bron Breakker. Austin said Asuka is the longest reigning women's champ between all of her reigns, which includes her NXT reign. The only one that's had a longer reign is the Fabulous Moolah, but no one is beating that. No, it's like 26 years, isn't it? 26 years, and she was absolutely not defending that title in WWE every month. In fact, I don't know how many times she defended that. And it was kind of the NWA Women's title that became the WWE Women's. But yeah, 26 years. That's silly, isn't it? That's just silly. That really does come across as someone's just forgot about her. The truth is, though, she used to book the women, or used to book a lot of the women's matches. So she did a classic Cody Rhodes. She was basically the Cody Rhodes of her day. Just put herself over for 26 years. Can I be women's champ? No. For 26 years. I think I remember seeing that all of Cena's 16 titles is the second longest after Bruno, but I can't say for sure, says Austin. That's interesting. This is an interesting conversation. David said, these guys don't look like they've got 9 minutes left in them. San Martino held it from 63 to 71. Messi. DDT. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Have you ever thought about doing a video showing off every shelf you have, maybe rate each figure, and chat about the placements? I haven't actually, no. I mean, I feel like I've done videos that show off the collection, and honestly, over the past 12 months, I doubt it's really changed that much. There's not been many, if any, figures that have been added to it, so don't know. I think there should be some figure videos that I do. I mean, that is a nice, quick. That's kind of an easy one to do because it's just literally get the camera and film. But I don't know if that's great content. Don't know if that's that interesting. Especially as there's videos on the channel that kind of already do something similar. But I like the thinking. I do like the thinking. I am trying to get different videos on the channel. James said, I bet you wish you could... Oh, I do, yeah. Thank you for sending me that. Yeah, Paul Nakano at Dallas Comic Con. Oh, I'm so jealous. The only thing I can hope is that she's doing Comic Cons and she'll do one in the UK. I don't care where it is. I'll go to it. That was a nasty slam on the edge of the table. That was horrific by Bron Breakker. An Alabama slam. And Tommaso hit the edge of the announce table. His face is busted as well. Like, these two always have a war. It's a good match, this. It's my favourite match of the night. Big slam by Bron. 1, 2, and Tommaso grabs the rope. Did you get the Burnt Fiend figure? No. Is it out now? I haven't even got the normal Fiend figure, to be honest. I am a collector, and I have been neglected for over 17 years. Brian, shout out to you. Do you just, do figure reviews on YouTube? That's cool. Brian Keane, shout out to you. I wrote a song about a tortilla. Actually, it's more of a rap. What do you think of Mandy Rose retaining? I kind of thought it would go that way, Rafi. Yeah, I wasn't too surprised by it. Ciampa with a knee strike to Bron right in the side of the head. They're saying that could be it as he charges in again with another knee strike. Bruno is 4,040 days as champion. That's incredible, isn't it? That's incredible. Double underhooks. Planted. 1, 2. Kick out. Kick out by Bron. Tommaso can't believe it. He thought he had the 3 there. Yeah, he's in a war here, isn't he, Tommaso? He gets Bron Breakker over in the corner. Bron is up in the corner, and Tommaso is looking to try and suplex Bron. Tommaso goes down. Bron, bulldog. Huge bulldog by Bron Breakker. He was standing over, stands over Tommaso, and the straps are coming down. The recliner. Is he going to win it with that? Tommaso taps. Tommaso taps. Bron Breakker wins. Bron Breakker is the new NXT champion. Why is that? That dude looked really surprised. Steiner, recliner. Tommaso looking up at Bron. As Bron is handed that championship. Bron Breakker did it. R.I.P. Goldie. He humbled Ciampa. Spinebuster. Bron is champion. It was a good match. Yeah, I enjoyed the match. I think the match was my favorite of the night, actually. It had a real intensity to it, and there was a little bit of blood. Some nasty spots as well, like that Alabama slam right on the edge of the announce table. Look at this. Oh, my God. Nasty. Thoughts on Scott Steiner? Big in lots of promotions, not that big in WWE, to be honest. And WWE is the promotion that I've watched the most. So Scott Steiner, Steiner Brothers as a tag team, fantastic. Scott Steiner, huge deal in WCW. And I think he was in Impact as well, wasn't he, in TNA? Came into WWE and, did some stuff. But not, I don't know. I mean, he had a lot of demons as well, didn't he? And I don't think he was the easiest of people to work with. So, legit, great wrestler. Just not someone that could really break through, and establish himself in the main event scene in WWE. Just wish he hadn't had... I wish he was easier to work with, and I wish he hadn't had those demons. Because I think they could have done something with him in WWE. Imagine him main event in WrestleManias and having long WWE championship runs and whatnot. The dog-faced gremlin. He went from a jobber to a champion in the space of months. Great. Now we get an NXT championship that looks like it came from a Lucky Charms box. We get an NXT championship that looks like it came from a Lucky Charms box. What do you mean? Are they going to change the title? Do you think they changed the title now? Is that the rumor? I haven't heard anything. They better not change the NXT title color scheme. R.I.P. NXT. Ciampa won't last on the main roster, and that's where he's going. R.I.P. Black and Gold. You will be missed. Right, let's get in our full-time scores. What do you score NXT New Year's Evil? 8 to 10. 7 to 7. 5. 62675 575 or below. I think this did move my score up a little bit. I really enjoyed that last match. I torn between 7.25 and 7.5. I think Bron winning was not a surprise to me. I think he'd already faced Ciampa and lost, and I think they wanted a new person to be champion for 2.0. So I think Bron winning is not an OMG moment to me. I suppose it's significant. And Wrestling with Andy said it's the greatest night in the history of our sport. I'll be generous. I'll go 7.5. I thought it was a good match. I was about 7 at the halfway point, and women's match, it was just sort of there. And I'll give a little tickle for the main event. James Chadwick said 9. Harry says 10. Trey said 7.5. Bonkers says 7.35. HCW says 8.5. Justin says 8. Bonkers says 7.35. We like these 0.35s, don't we? 7.5. Days, can you Google who's got the longest reign so you actually know who's right? Well, I believe it's Cena. Didn't you Google it? Justin says 8. Trent says 0.1. Austin says 7.5. 7.4. 7. Not as good as the show as last week. Last week was a 9, says Houston. Justin says 8. Shannon says 8. Edward says 7.5. Sonny with a 7. Airflow Games with a 7.5. Rye with a 7.296. Mark with an 8. Draco with a 7.5. Zoom Station with an 8. Outdoor with a 7.5 or a solid 8. Bronny with an 8. CB Studios with a 6.5. Rashawn with a 7.25. Tammy with a 7.5. Adrian with an 8.5. We've got an 8.12345 out of 10. Kirsty, shout out to you. Appreciate the support. Bron's not my favourite, but he definitely deserved the title. 7.5, says J14. Do you think that the Uso guy takes it from Bron? They are putting him over as undefeated. Well, I think Bron's going to have a really long title reign. I don't see him dropping it anytime soon. So, I mean, Solo Sikoa could actually be next in line. I think, there's a few that have got real potential. I think Haaland has got potential. I could see maybe Gacy gets it thanks to Haaland. Maybe Von Wagner will get it. I could see a few, maybe Zion Quinn, have got like a chance, but I think, realistically, we're going to be at SummerSlam, and I can see Bron Breakker still being champion. I don't see him losing it anytime soon. And honestly, when he does lose it, I could see people going, he's dropped it because he's getting called up now. I mean, it could be one of them. It could be a nice, long, healthy title run. Give him loads of feuds, different main events. And then when he drops it, maybe we are on the verge of him getting called up. So, food for thought. The longest uninterrupted title reign in WWE was Hogan, said Corvids. Harry, shout out to you, my friends. What did Rusev call that move when he used to do it? The accolade. He still does it now, and it's called the game over, isn't it? But it was the accolade before. John said 6.41. I barely watched it out of 10. Yes, XY Zion Quinn. Picture on Twitter shows Ciampa shaking Rick Steiner's hand in the crowd after the match. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. It's a shame they didn't show Rick Steiner. In fairness, they're kind of moving him away from the Steiner name, aren't they? I don't really get that. I don't get that at all. I mean, they're not calling him Steiner, even though that is his name. If Rick Steiner was there, why haven't you shown him? It's really weird, isn't it? I think Gacy is going to get it. I could see that. I think I could see Gacy getting it thanks to Haaland. MJF should take it from Bron Breakker. Rick Steiner celebrating with Bron in the ring after the fight. Well, there we go. What happened after NXT? Apparently, Rick Steiner got in and celebrated with Bron Breakker. Matthew, see you on Friday, buds. Jaden said, I don't like it. I think they've rushed the title onto Bron, and I do not like Ciampa's future. Now that NXT is over, who will win? The last comment, says Harry. You guys do love that, don't you? I do see you battling away for that. Do you know, that kind of was really interesting. It's quite interesting to me that you lot play this game every single stream, that you're trying to battle to see who gets that last comment. It's good. Kind of feels like it's organic. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a game that's just come out of nowhere because people are hanging around afterwards trying to get the last comment. Like, yeah, it's who will get it tonight. Maybe I'll time you all out again and I'll win. I've got a history of doing that. It's because of their issues with Scott, says Jordan. That's a shame, innit? It's a shame. It's because Scott's refusal to accept Hall of Fame. So petty. Isn't it? Isn't wrestling petty at times? Jaden said, trying to move away from Steiner. Well, he won it with the recliner. Yeah, but they didn't call it the Steiner recliner on commentary, did they? It was just the recliner. Like, there's no mention of Steiner. They took Steiner out of his name, and they're not showing Rick Steiner even though he was there. It just seems petty. I suppose in a way you could also make the counter argument they're trying to make him stand on his own 2 feet. So you could make that argument. What do you think of Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens on Raw following the left field of Brock winning the title? What do I think of them? I don't know. I mean, I like them both. I was very surprised that Kevin Owens was allowing Seth to win the match. I know he said that he could trust him, but I really thought he was going to try and screw him over. So I was surprised. Rai said, I'll admit it. Whenever I play, I always win. There we go. Mitchell said, Days, do you think AJ could be NXT champ? Nah, there's no need for that. NXT's developmental, isn't it? So I don't think they're looking to have AJ be NXT champion. Justin, shout out to you. G-Money said Bruno is the longest, 2,803 days. Bruno, the living legend that's dead. Vince Petty, you're joking, aren't you, says Jaden. Right, we're almost at 200 votes. As soon as we get to 200, we'll shut the poll down and move on. Don't forget, we're back tomorrow. We are back on football days tomorrow. So we're back on football days tomorrow. We've got a semi-final of the Carabao Cup. Winners, I think it's 2 legs, though, so the winners don't go through, but take a big step towards the final. So we've got that tomorrow. And then on this channel, we've got AEW Dynamite. So we've got that coming up tomorrow. We're 7 votes away. 7 votes away from wrapping up the poll. So if you haven't voted, get your votes in. What did you think of NXT New Year's Evil? Jaden said apparently the original plan was for Seth to win the title at day 1 until the plans changed on the night due to COVID with Roman. Airflow said, can you time out everyone but me so I win? I don't know. I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot of people that are going to play now. That's going to be a lot of timing outs. I just don't think I can be bothered. Alex said, how do you be the last one? Don't shut YouTube down and go to sleep. No, the thing is that it only lets you do it for so long. It's like, I don't know, 5 minutes or so after the stream ends, you can still comment. And then at some point, it'll just freeze. So you can actually see who gets the last comment. And, yeah, it's because you lot, like, I don't know how it came about, but people were, like, chatting away after the streams for a bit. And it just freezes at some point. It's like 5 minutes, few minutes, or whatever. I don't know exactly how long. And then, like, someone gets the last comment. French TV star Igor Bogdanov has died. That's a shame. I've never heard of them, but it is, of course, a shame. We've got the 200 votes. Let's wrap up the poll, because everyone's thinking about the last comment now. All of a sudden, I'm irrelevant, and everyone's like, I'm going to win this. Mitchell said, first 2.0 show I've watched in full. If the whole idea was to create new stars, it seems like half of these will be buried on the main roster. I think, in all fairness, though, it's still very early for these new stars. I think a lot of the stars you're seeing are really, they've only been around for a month or two, so I wouldn't judge them wouldn't judge them too much yet. I think they're still finding their feet, but they are definitely investing in some of them. Bron Breakker in particular. So, right, we're done. Anyway, we're done. So that you lot can go and play this game now. Really appreciate the support. Thanks a lot for watching. We're back again tomorrow for AEW. Hope you enjoyed NXT. I thought it was a solid show, man. I genuinely think my problem was my expectations were maybe a bit high. I knew this was a special. I knew it was like a mini takeover. And I think just for me personally, it didn't quite live up to that. But it was still fine. It was still solid. It was still enjoyable. It was still one of the best NXT 2.0 episodes I've ever seen. So hopefully they can keep this momentum going, because next week the lineup looks very good as well again. So, yeah, it's going to be good, man. Thanks a lot for watching. Good luck with the game, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.